Welcome to another edition of Against the Grain Sports Podcast, Uncut. And I'm your host, Jody Coleman, in the building. We're joined with my man, my brother, Drell, Solo on Sports Glenn, all the way from San Antonio, Texas. Man, how you feeling, my guy?
I'm doing great, Jody. Hey, man, I'm going to tell you something. I went and saw your basketball team play ball last night, your Spurs, and we had some really good seats, and goddamn, that goddamn Wemby. Don't get me wrong, Cooper Flag's a problem, too. That goddamn Wemby ain't no joking person, bro. Goodness gracious. It's like he's playing with a lot of little kids out there.
Listen, man, we're going to definitely talk about my Spurs. Hey, what's up to Kathy? She said, what's up, Jody Joe? I hope she's had a fabulous Saturday. She's back. Remember, Kathy, man, she been on the show for years, man, and she couldn't find us. And now she has found us once again. So, she's a mainstay of Against the Grain Sports. And we got a Saturday morning, man. We're going to have some sunshine up here in the Midwest. I'm about to get my grass cut. I'm going to be out there on my deck.
You're gonna be decking tonight? You decking it up?
Hey, it's gonna be some fun action, man. But we got some fun action here on Against the Grain Sports, man. We talking about the Masters. The Masters going on this weekend. That's one of the biggest events in all of sports. We got the NBA playoff race. Some seeds have already been solidified. There's about 1 or 2 games left in the regular season. Some playing games are being set up, and we know we got to talk about the NFL draft. A lot of hot commodities going on with the NFL draft. They said your boyfriend Mendoza is not going to be at the draft. Matter of fact, let's kick off with that. What do you think about Mendoza saying that he's not going to be at the NFL draft?
I don't like it, Jody. I can see a player that's possibly not going to be a first rounder, or that he might drop out of the first round. It's kind of embarrassing to be there and try to hide you, put you in the green room. But we already know this guy's #1 pick. He already has the Raiders playbook. He's already going through that. To me, he's missing this opportunity. You got to have plenty of time to hang around your family. You can bring your family with you. We know you don't have to be there alone. You got 10 minutes. You show up. You shake the commissioner's hand. You go on a private jet, get out of there. To me, he's missing a moment of forever. That's going to be a big part of his life. I think he should be at the draft. I think it's a big thing. If it was my son, I'd recommend he be there. What do you think?
I definitely think that he should be at the draft, man. You're trying to be, when you're the #1 pick of the NFL draft, you're normally trying to be the face of the NFL. And if you ain't at the NFL, if you're not there, there's going to be other people that say, hey, I'm not going to do this either. And you could be a trendsetter in the wrong way. And we need to get more positivity when it comes to the NFL. We need to get more positivity. And this is a guy that is the model, will be the model citizen at quarterback. Now he just has to go and win games. So I would love to see him at the NFL draft. I think he deserves it. I think it's a complete honor to be the #1 pick of the NFL draft. And him not being there is just going to set precedents where we're going to have situations where you're going to have another next year, maybe Arch Mandy's the #1 pick and he doesn't want to be there. And I think you're taking away from what the fans have done. A lot of people are going to be traveling to Pittsburgh. Ugh. I don't know why anybody want to travel to Pittsburgh, but there's going to be a lot of people traveling to Pittsburgh. They're setting it up. It's going to be right by the stadium. The draft is actually going to be set in the parking lot on one side of the stadium. And I think that it's unfair that people buy, tickets and come from miles around to see, especially Vegas Raider fans will come because they know they got the #1 pick. And trust me, I've been to several NFL drafts and it's pandemonium. So I'm not really happy with Mendoza if he decides completely not to go to the draft. I'm going to be quite disappointed. So,
Jody, do you think maybe them moving the draft around maybe affects these players' decisions to go to these certain cities? Like you said, it's Pittsburgh. It's not New York City. Nothing against Pittsburgh. I've never been there. I'm pretty sure it's a lovely city. But maybe moving the draft around affects these players. I don't want to go to Pittsburgh. It's going to be cold and rainy there. No sightseeing to do in Pittsburgh. Maybe that's had something to do with it.
But you know what? Hey, what's going on? Ashley Light Bright. She brightens up the show. Appreciate you coming in and dropping a good morning for Against the Grain Sports. Appreciate you. Kathy said, I'm trying to get more of my Browns sports chat people to come over. Absolutely. Tell them to come on over because we're going to talk Browns football for sure. But my thing is, so I like that they do a tour. I think every city shows out because when I went to my first NFL draft, it was in Vegas. and it was over 300,000 people. And then they followed it up. I went to the next year. It was in Detroit. It was over, I think, 1 million. Then they went to believe they was in Green Bay. I like the fact that they toured because some of these people don't, like the locals, don't have the money to travel to all these different places. And I think I think them doing a tour of it is good. Is major for the businesses in that area, hotels and
Yeah.
restaurants. So just like the Super Bowl, I believe the Super Bowl should come to the northern teams if you got a dome. I think I like what the draft is doing. But outside of Mendoza, so talk to me about a player that is going up, like, well, actually going down, a higher draft pick since the draft has started. Who has made some buzz and can be surprising that can move up in this NFL draft?
My favorite player, my Heisman Trophy winner, I think they should have won last year. We talked about this, Joe. Jeremiah Love, man. I know it's crazy to think that because the disrespect for the running back position in the NFL, but I got a feeling, Joe, that this guy might be a top 4 pick in this draft. I think the Tennessee Titans might actually take him with the 3rd or 4th pick in this draft this year. I can see that. I know it's odd, but if you think lately how much the running back has gotten love again in this league, I think they're thinking, hey man, if I draft this guy now, I get 4 or 5 good years out of him, and then maybe he can be gone after that. But I think Jeremiah Love is going to move up in this draft. I don't think he's going to get past the 4th pick.
Man, a person, and I've been saying this, and I'm not being a homer, but his Ohio State safety, Caleb Downs. If I'm a betting man, I think he's the most for sure pick. I love Arvell Reese out of Ohio State. I love David Bailey out of Texas Tech. But when you're dealing with guys like I told y'all, my thought process on Arvell Reese. Arvell Reese had 6.5 sacks on the collegiate level. He had no sacks in the last 6 or 7 games of the season. Of course, he didn't accumulate any sacks in the postseason or in the Big Ten championship game when we needed him the most. Not saying that he wasn't a factor, but sometimes when you have a big name player, you want him to make big name plays. Caleb Downs was always in the mix in every game, even going back to last year when they won the national championship, his first year with the Ohio State Buckeyes. I think Caleb Downs is a can't miss prospect. So I think this is a guy that day one he could be a leader of your defense, and I don't think you have to sit him. You know what I'm saying? I think with some of these guys that got the number 1 pick from 1 to 10, the Browns, Giants, Tennessee, Vegas, they need guys that can play right now. And if he falls to y'all, to the Washington Commanders, who the team is 1 year removed from the playoffs, he comes in and brings you. It seemed like he brings you veteran leadership, and he will be a rookie. What do you think about Caleb Downs potentially going higher than what people are saying he will?
I can definitely see that, Joe. There's been talk of that also. That's another position that gets disrespected in the league. People they disrespect the safeties, man. This guy can be a difference maker, like you said, on the defense, man, because not only his cover skills are there, he's also a leader on the defense, and that's hard to find in a young guy coming into the NFL. And I think he can definitely do that. It would not shock me if he moved up in the draft and possibly go number 2. Anything's possible right now. There's no solidified guy at number 2. All I do know is there's going to be 4 to 5 Buckeyes to get drafted in the top 10 easily.
No doubt. But what do you think about? Okay, what do you think about the wide receiver position? A lot of people saying that Cardinal Tate should definitely be the number 1 receiver off the board from Ohio State. Also, Lemon out of USC is a guy that a lot of people are really high on in this NFL draft. Not to mention Jordan Tyson, the kid out of Arizona State, who didn't have the same season he had last year, but he had, they know that he has the ability to be one of the premier wide receivers, as well as like a guy like Denzel Boston. If you're a team that's in need of a receiver, which there's tons of teams that can use wide receiver help, where do you go first? Is Tate a clear-cut number 1 receiver off the board this year?
He's more polished, I think. But I think talent-wise, the guy that you've been praising all year is Lemon. You're the first guy to tell me how good this guy was from USC. I think talent-wise, I think he's the most talented out of these wide receivers. For my money, if I want to draft a wide receiver first, I would go Lemon over those other 2 guys. I like that you can hardly ever go wrong with Ohio State wide receiver. Y'all breed them up there. But I can definitely see Lemon being the best out of those 3.
I think that Carnell Tate with his size and range, and you got to understand in Ohio State organization, you're not going to catch 100 passes in this offense
No.
because there's so many offensive weapons. Lemon was able to be really the focal point of USC because remember their top running back went down. And he's really good. Like let's I mean, Lemon is really good. I think this is a guy that if you get him, I think you're getting a guy that can play outside the numbers. He can play in the slot. He reminds me a lot of an Ohio State wide receiver named Jackson Smith-Njigba. That's what type of talent that this kid has. He can play the inside and the outside. And some people forget how important that is when a guy can play inside and outside. But another guy, like I
like
said,
playing
Denzel
in the
Boston
slot too, big dog.
Yo, hey, Denzel Boston is another guy that people need to pay attention to. He doesn't have a high volume of catches because he played out there with the Washington Huskies, but this is a guy that can really be a difference maker. And we got to understand, like, you look at the productivity in college and then you bring it over to the NFL. Sometimes it's different. So it's a different magnitude because, first of all, you're playing in a lot of blowout games in college. Normally, if you play non-conference, you play 4 non-conference games. Now it's going to be 3 for some conferences because they're bigger. Pause.
Size matters, baby.
Size does matter. But my thing is, now let's say back in the day, you played the 4 non-conference. You might have played 1 big dog in your non-conference schedule, and the other 3 where you're playing community colleges and you can pad your stats, or you're going to get benched because you're up 28-3 at halftime. So you're not playing a lot of action. So I look at what the productivity is in conference, but then again, you got these conferences that got a lot of bottom feeders that's not really good. And that's including the SEC, guys. The SEC has teams at the bottom that are not as good as the teams at the top. I know it, just like the Big Ten. I'm not going to not let the Big Ten off the hook. The Big Ten has some teams at the bottom that's not as good as the teams at the top. So my thing is, I look at what is the productivity of these guys, these receivers, or these players against the best competition when the heat is on. What do you think about that, So?
I agree with you, Jody. And a real talented scout can find talent. Doesn't matter. Look past the stats, because sometimes some of these guys have a ton of talent, but they're not in a good offense. The quarterback is not very accurate. But if you're a real talent evaluator, like you are, Jody, you can find a guy like, you know what? This guy might only have 35 catches, but you know what? His quarterback was ass this year. Their offensive line wasn't blocking well. The offensive scheme was not there, but the talent is there. And that's how you can find those gems. That's why you see guys get drafted in the 5th round. Like, man, how did this guy fall to the 5th round? You go back and look, oh, he didn't have a quarterback, or the offense was bad, or they were down by so many points, they run the ball too much, those type of things. But that's where you found. That's why you see 4th and 5th round guys that end up being superstars in this league.
Absolutely. Richard Sherman comes to mind every time I think stuff like that, because Richard Sherman was a 5th round draft pick out of Stanford. He played the cornerback and the wide receiver position, and a lot of people were thinking he was going to play wide receiver in the NFL. So you're absolutely right when that. But this is the thing, we talking quarterbacks. You can't talk about the NFL draft quarterbacks. I know that we already have talked about the number 1 pick in Mendoza, unless the Raiders listen to me and trade that pick and get more value. But Ty Simpson, a lot of people believe that Ty Simpson's skill set is better than Mendoza's skill set. But a lot of people are looking at Ty Simpson to go late in the 1st, maybe even early mid-2nd round. Maybe that might be the difference between the one quarterback and the next. And we've seen this. Didn't we see this? We seen this when Alex Smith was drafted number 1 overall, and then we didn't see another quarterback drafted in that draft, and his name was Aaron Rodgers. And I know the 49ers are like, wait a minute, we fucked up. I know the 49ers want to look back at that draft like, we could have Aaron. I'm not saying Alex Smith wasn't good, but he wasn't as good with the 49ers as he was with Kansas City, and he wasn't definitely as good as Aaron Rodgers' career been. So I think the 49ers kind of low-key regret. And plus, he's a California kid. So when you pass up on a California kid, but once again, Alex Smith was a California kid too, because he was from San Diego, played on the same team with Reggie Bush. But can we see the same situation with Mendoza and Ty Simpson that we've seen with Alex Smith and Aaron Rodgers?
Well, you can definitely see that, Jody. If you look at Ty Simpson, he's another guy you were praising early in the year. But the problem was with Alabama's offense, we started to notice they don't have a fucking running game. So when you play a defense against a team, doesn't matter how much talent they have, when you know they're not going to run the ball and can't run the ball, it's kind of easy to figure out. I think that was Ty Simpson's biggest issue. Also, he didn't have a lot of starts in college football, and people are kind of holding that against him. But I think the talent is there. But we already know Mendoza's team was perfect. They had an elite running game. Their offensive line was elite, which you talked about. I'm giving you a lot of praise today, Joey. Their offensive line, you talked about good Indiana's offensive line was, and it was. They were elite. And he's in a perfect offense for him. Sometimes everything was perfect for him. So everything worked out great for Mendoza. Not that Mendoza's not a good quarterback, but if Ty Simpson was in that offense, I think he could have done the same thing and maybe better than Mendoza did.
Now I'm gonna praise you. You are one of the people that don't really give a damn how many starts a quarterback has. You said that you said what's your saying? Experience is overrated. Am I quoting you correctly?
You are right, sir. I have said that.
And in this case, I'm gonna agree with you that experience is overrated because I mean this is a guy that should be getting praised for staying at Alabama. Ty Simpson, he could have left and hit the transfer portal, but he didn't. He could have done what all the other guys that don't get their way done. And now that Ty Simpson stays in the place, plays very well. You know, this guy threw for over 3,500 yards, 28 touchdowns, 5 interceptions on the season, took his team to the playoffs, went on people forget that Alabama at one point in time, I believe, beat 3 to 4 top 20 opponents like in a row. And it's like this guy, and we know they couldn't run the ball. We knew that Alabama could, you said it, Alabama could not run the fucking football to say they like. If we see Alabama last year get a 4 or 5 yard run, we was standing up and applauding because we like, what the fuck is going on in Alabama? So my thing is, Ty Simpson, now it's like, it's almost so, it's like, it's damn if you do, damn if you don't. If he would have hit the transfer portal, or he can't, it was too hot in the kitchen. It was too hot in the kitchen.
Yeah.
He couldn't stand the competition. He stays at Alabama, wins the starting job because there was a freshman or a sophomore quarterback that was supposed to be really, really good that he beat out for the starting job at the University of Alabama. He goes out there, plays Heisman Trophy football, literally carries this team. So then he gets to the NFL draft. Now people are complaining about the amount of starts that he has, and that's the reason why y'all don't want to draft him. When we're seeing quarterbacks in the league have 150 starts, and I'm exaggerating on the amount of starts, but are ass too. So what is it? So it's damn if you do, damn if you don't. Talk to me. So what the fuck is up?
I hate to do this to your guy Ty Simpson, Jody, but he might be a Jet. I can see the Jets drafting a defensive player with the second pick. And they have 2 picks in the first round. I think they believe they got the second pick from the Cowboys when they made a trade for that defense lineman. But I got a feeling with that second pick, I think the 16th pick in the first round, I can see the Jets drafting Ty Simpson. Hopefully they don't ruin his career because the Jets been known to do that. But I got a feeling the Jets going to draft this kid in the first round. And hopefully they can pull a team around him. Hopefully his career is not ruined by being a Jet like a lot of other quarterbacks have.
Now, if he becomes a Jet, and I want everybody to look on Against the Grain Sports, he become a Jet. This is what they're going to have to do for this young man to be successful if he's a Jet. So what he's going to have to do is they're going to have to keep Garrett Wilson, and they're going to have to find a way to get an elite tight end. They went and signed their running back. Hall, I guess, is their guy. But they got to get an elite tight end. I think if you get an elite tight end, I think Ty Simpson – and you got a good quarterback coach up there. You got Frank Wright. Frank Wright, offensive coordinator, quarterback coach / offensive pioneer. I think that if he gets in this organization and they have patience with Aaron Glenn and Frank Wright, I think if they have patience, I truly believe Ty Simpson has the talent. If you're patient with this kid, that he, not in year 1, but maybe year 2, we can start seeing at least a guy that's at least average or better than average. What do you think about that?
Well, Jody, I'm confused here, brother, because you told me you love Joy Taylor, and Joy Taylor's nephew plays for the Jets. He's a tight end, so he's not elite. You're supposed to hype up your family. So if you're gonna get in good with Joy, you might want to say that her nephew is that elite tight end. I mean, you want to get some brownie points if you want to get in good with this young lady.
I thought I was looking at her tight end.
Oh, okay. You weren't focused on the nephew.
Sorry, Joy. Hey, sorry, Joy. I love you. You know I love you, Joy Taylor. Like, if nobody in America loves you like I love you, Joy Taylor, just know that for sure.
Jody, you have
I
shown so
don't
much
know
love
nobody
this
love the way I
lady.
love.
You don't care how long the line is. You getting in that line. I know you. I see you,
Hey,
bro.
listen, I'm the guy with the flowers. I'm the guy with the flowers. Hey, but anyway, man, you a wild boy. Kathy says, sorry, Ty Simpson. I see him a third rounder or late second. Now let's talk about that, Kathy. So, what do you think about that? Because Kathy knows a lot of football. She's a Browns fan, so I'm definitely going to value her opinion. And I think talent-wise, he's a first-round talent. Production-wise, I think he's a first-round talent. I can see, because remember, I was very hard pause on the quarterbacks because I didn't see any quarterback in this year's draft mid-season that was worth more than a second rounder. And then, of course, as the season progresses, if Mendoza wins a championship, which is hard to do, but somebody has to win a championship. So every year, we didn't see guys like Ken Dorsey win championships. We didn't see guys like Craig Krenzel win championships and not have a lot of success in the NFL. So what do you think about that? Do you agree with Kathy or disagree?
Kathy can be spot on because the NFL draft is so unpredictable. It can be a report that comes out from an unknown source that says one bad thing about Ty Simpson, and next thing you know, he drops out of the first, second, and possibly third round. So the NFL draft is so unpredictable. She could be spot on with this. I could be wrong. I'm thinking first round, but but only thing about the quarterback position, these teams are so hungry for quarterbacks, and everyone wants to hit on one. It would kind of shock me if he fell to the third round, considering he's the second best quarterback in this draft. But anything's possible in the NFL draft world. That's for damn sure.
But we just seen this a couple years ago. Kenny Pickett was the first quarterback taken for the Pittsburgh Steelers in the first round. I think he was a 20th pick overall. This was actually the draft I was at in Vegas, and he dropped. But Malik Willis was in that same draft, and he fell all the way. He was supposed to be a first-round pick, but he fell all the way to the third round and ended up being a Tennessee Titan. When they had him projected, when I did my draft projection, we had him at number 6 going to the Carolina Panthers. And Kenny Pickett was supposed to go earlier in that draft, and neither one of those quarterbacks went early in the draft. And as we can see, Malik Willis seemed to be the winner of that particular draft because now he's a starting quarterback of the Miami Dolphins. He just signed a major 2-year, $65 million deal, and Kenny Pickett may not see the field for any other team in the league because now he's listed as a backup quarterback for the Vegas Raiders, and now he's probably not even going to be on the roster with them getting Kirk Cousins and drafting Mendoza. So where would Kenny Pickett land? Because Cleveland had traded him. He didn't play one snap with the Cleveland Browns. You do have a Super Bowl ring coming in relief for the Philadelphia Eagles, but now Kenny Pickett is going to be a bona fide journeyman in the league. So when you go back and look at some of these evaluations of the draft, and you start looking like, damn, they were right about this or they wasn't right about this, even though I believe he had a decent career with the Pittsburgh Steelers because he beat everybody in the NFC North. He had a winning record against every team, including Lamar Jackson, including the great Joe Burrow. Two guys that are elite quarterbacks, Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson. He had winning records with when he played for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but he couldn't beat anybody else. Of course, he could beat the Browns. Actually, the Browns, he had the worst record against the Browns. That was the crazy thing. He had the worst record against the Browns, but he had, I believe, the best record, I want to say, against the Bengals. But
y'all
in divisions. But anyway, man, I don't know why, but I remember when Ben played for them, we couldn't beat them. I guess Ben was manhandling people in the bathroom. That's why we couldn't beat him. He was strong-arming people in the bathroom. We couldn't beat him. But no, give me your final thought on this subject on allegedly. Give me your final thought on the NFL draft as a whole, and give me your perspective on that before we move on.
I love the NFL draft. It's just so much unknown, and it's not like most of the time in the NBA draft, we kind of know who's going to be the top picks, but there's so much unknown in the NFL draft. Like you said, Jody, we're saying that this guy's going to be a top 2 to 3 pick, certain players, like you talked about the safety from Ohio State, but he might possibly fall because, there's teams that's high in the draft that need offensive linemen. If there's a top tier offensive lineman there, and that means some of the more talented players on more skilled players, like the safeties and corners and running backs, might drop down some because some of those teams need offensive linemen. That can change the entire draft. So I'm looking forward to see what happens here pretty soon in Pittsburgh.
I'm gonna give my little final thought before we move on. This is my thought. is they had a acronym that when I was coaching, my head coach, shout out to Darnell Hoskins, he played in the NBA and he was my top coach, and I was always coaching for him. He used to be like, KISS, keep it simple, stupid. The draft is not going to be an exact science, but a lot of times people overthink themselves and think they're smarter than everybody else in the room in the draft. Go back to the Philadelphia Eagles before they start hitting on all their draft picks when they could have got Justin Jefferson. I mean, that's a can't miss pick. We can go back as far as the Dallas Cowboys passing up on Randy Moss, and you seen what happened. They've been searching for a receiver since Randy. If Randy Moss gets drafted to the Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Cowboys could have continued. They could have moved Michael Irvin to the 2, kept him around a little longer. Randy Moss would have went to the 1, and you could have extended Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith's career. But that was your boy Jerry Jones thinking he was smarter than everybody in the room. So hey, you go back and you see.
You know why the Cowboys didn't draft Randy Moss? What I've been told, because all the issues that Mike Irvin was having in the courtroom, they thought that since Randy has a few issues in college, he might be Michael Irvin 2.0. But boy, they regret that. I'll tell you for sure. Remember that rookie year went down on Thanksgiving and cooked them?
Three catches. I think it was 164 yards and 3 touchdowns. So every time he touched the ball, he scored a touchdown. And Randy was that guy. Randy was that guy. I know he had some troubles when he went, because he started off at Notre Dame, had troubles. Yeah. He went to Florida State, had troubles, and he finally landed with Marshall. And this guy had one season, had 25 touchdowns. I think they said every game he played his last year with Marshall, he had a touchdown in every one of those games. But that's amazing. But I mean, you go back and you look at the drafts, and you start looking at it like, okay, I mentioned Alex Smith in the Aaron Rodgers situation. Like, you could have had that. And of course, me being a Cleveland Brown fan and looking at all these, we picked Tim Couch with the number 1 pick, and then the next pick was Donovan McNabb to the Philadelphia Eagles. So it's like it's like a one pick. You could have changed your franchise. So in this year's draft, guys, keep it extremely simple. If you see Caleb Downs on the board, pretty much, I don't care who you are. I'm picking Caleb Downs. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If you got let's say Arvell Reese fall to 7 or 8, I don't care what your needs is. You go with Arvell Reese. You go with David Bailey. You go with the top player on the board. If Jeremiah Love is on the board, if Jeremiah Love is on the board at 6 and I'm Cleveland, I'm thinking about drafting Jeremiah Love myself. You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I know we need Carnell Tate, but you put Jeremiah Love with the running back that we got now coming off an injury, we can figure out we got a second pick, the 24 pick. We can figure out the wide receiver position, because just because you pick a wide receiver early on doesn't mean it's guaranteed that we're going to be successful. So my thing for this NFL draft, and we're going to continue talking about it, but keep it simple, stupid. Stop thinking you're the smartest person in the room, and stop gambling with y'all franchise by thinking like, okay, I get this guy right now, and then I might be able to get this guy later. If this is the guy that you want, you get the guy that you want that can help your organization. Quit saying, well, this guy plays running back. It's overvalued for this pick. Who gives a fuck? This dude could come in and be the guy that can change your franchise. I don't give a fuck when you draft him. So just be careful on that and keep it simple, stupid. And I'm talking to all 32 NFL teams. Even if you're already a champ caliber pick, make the pick, make the right choice. And that was my thought process on that. But anyway, let's keep moving on that, man. And then I'm gonna be a messy Marvin this morning, man. And I don't know if you're gonna like what I'm about to say, man.
Uh-oh.
But I'm gonna put this on there.
Whoa.
Should the Patriots fire head coach Mike Vrabel? Now, for all the people that may not know what I'm talking about or why I'm talking about this, Mike Vrabel is the head coach of New England Patriots, had a fantastic year. He played for the Patriots. He coached for the Tennessee Titans. He is a former Ohio State Buckeye as well. But out in Arizona, I think they had the lead meetings out there, and he was caught allegedly with another woman who was Diana. What's her last name? Rosina.
Natalia.
I believe she's a columnist.
Yeah, I don't know about firing him, Jody. Interesting situation going on with Mike Vrabel in New England. We do know that they have issues up in that area. Remember, the head coach of the Celtics was messing around with somebody in the organization, and he lost his job. But this lady doesn't work for the New England Patriots, so should they fire him? I don't know. Very interesting. The guy just went to the Super Bowl. I got a feeling he'll probably get a pass here.
Now, the reason, sorry for the technical difficulties, guys, but the reason why I asked this question is there was a coach in the Boston area named Emeki what's the name?
Udoka.
And he was fired for things similar to this. Not exactly the same case, but I thought that, New England or Boston sports, Massachusetts sports, they didn't tolerate this from their head coaches. Now, both have denied that they had any wrongdoing. Now, there is plenty of pictures where they're quite intimate. I mean, both of them are married, which, that's not none of my business. But, my thing is policies. Where's the policy at in the New England Patriots, like they brought up on Udoka with the Boston Celtics? And we know that this goes on. We know this goes on.
Oh, yeah.
But the question is, why is it that some people seem to get a pass and others don't? And this is a situation. I mean, do you fire this guy, or are you going to do due diligence like I believe you should? I don't think you should fire him, personally. My thing is I don't give a shit what you do in your personal life. If it's not detrimental to the team, I don't give a shit. That's something he got to go and deal with his wife, and she got to deal with her husband. If I say this to anybody that cheats or do anything like that, just make sure it's worth it. If you willing to give up what you had, or maybe what you had ain't what you think or what you want no more. But Tasha in the comments, he said the Patriots don't care. That man just got them to Super Bowl. Hell, Kraft was getting tucks and massages. He said, well, he wasn't sleeping with someone's wife within the organization either. And then Kathy said, Vrabel and along with a lot of men can't keep it in their pants. Now, I don't, like I said, me personally, I don't give a shit what you do, because I'm a guy. I'm not a smut reporter. I'm just saying this because the only reason why I even brought this up is because why did Boston's head coach, and I understand what Tasha said, T Sizzle in the building with the extra point. She said that basically, it wasn't somebody in the organization, but she is a reporter with ESPN. So that is within the sports world. So if you're doing that with an ESPN reporter that normally gets breaking news early, or now she has an inside track on New England Patriot football, if that's the case, what that means, she gets an added advantage because she's intimate with this guy. What do you think about that, son?
So you telling me, Jody, there's a chance that the Patriots head coach could be giving this young lady back shots, and while he's giving her back shots, she could be giving him some inside information on other squads. You saying pillow talking could be going on during these sessions that they're having. Maybe they have an open marriage. Maybe they have a hall pass. You seen the movie Hall Pass, right?
Yeah, I seen the hall pass.
Maybe they have a hall pass. Look here, go out there and do your thing. Just don't bring nothing. I don't know. There's a lot of freaky people out in this world. But I agree with Tasha. I don't think the man should be fired. If she worked for the organization, possibly. But you all know, man, the Patriots are not against cheating. They've been cheating since 1990 plus, when they were recording practices and Spygate and shit like that. So if they are cheating, this is the Patriots' MO. That's what they do.
But see, I'm not even worried about. Like I said, that's something he got to deal with. That ain't got shit to do with me off the field. But I'm speaking on the field. If she has an opportunity to have insight, and I think she has been suspended. I'm not sure what her status is with ESPN, because ESPN don't play that shit. You see,
no, they don't.
With Shannon Sharp, other people, they don't. They cut ties, and they cut ties rather quickly. They don't even act. They don't even wait for the ink to dry on the suspension. You're gone. My thing is, I think you do what you do, but it's awfully ironic who you're doing it with. And I believe if you go and you do that, and you sit up here and you give secrets, because we know what Drake say, be careful with the pillow talk, because when she get done with you, she gonna tell somebody else. And dudes fall for it every time. And I think she really liked me. You up here telling her your deepest and darkest secrets, and then next thing you know, you wondering why people are in your business, because she ain't shit. You ain't shit. I mean, I'll just keep it always real. Anybody that get out there and do shit like that, you ain't shit. I'm just gonna keep it real. Come see me. I mean, it is what it is, man. But I think he needs to be fired? No. And do I think this goes on more often than not? Absolutely. But why are you so open and you know there's camera phones, and you know you just went to the Super Bowl. Y'all just said, everybody in the comments said he just took the New England Patriots Super Bowl. You're a celebrity now, bro.
Yeah.
You're not with the Titans no more. Nobody give a fuck when you was the Titan head coach, but they do give a fuck that you were the New England Patriot head coach. You just took a team in your first year with the organization to the Super Bowl, and you got a good chance of going back several more times. You are a celebrity. You know people got their cameras and shit out. Why are you hugged up with this girl in public? Now, what you do? Why couldn't y'all do that shit inside where nobody could see it? Talk to me, so man.
Well, I haven't seen the pictures yet, Jody. Was he really hugged up with this lady? Were they at a party and he gave her the side hug, or
they was hugging
hands?
No, they was hugging. They was interlock hands. I don't interlock hands with a girl I just kind of met.
Yeah, that's a bad look. Are you sure it's not AI? Is it really happened? Yeah, that's a bad look. If she got suspended by ESPN, that's not surprising at all. Like you said.
Let me clear that up. She works for the Athletic, not ESPN.
She used to work for the Athletic, is what you're saying.
No, she well, I don't know where she worked at. I don't know. She might be working for Against the Grain Sports. I don't know. But Tasha said she works with the Athletic, not ESPN, just to make sure that was clarified. Also, Tasha said it all speaks to integrity. Who would take her serious at this point? She possibly has lost all her credibility.
That's true.
And then Kathy said, my dad cheated on my mom for 23 years. That is as long as they were together. Listen, man, that's crazy work. And I do feel bad for that situation because, you know, when you're the victim of cheating, you know, it's a hurtful situation. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, that's a whole relationship. I'm talking about football-wise. I'm looking at it from a football perspective. And normally those organizations, being the Boston Celtics, being the New England Patriots, being the Boston Bruins, you know, et cetera, all those teams normally link in. New England Patriots all linked in, and they all have all the owners know each other, and normally their policies are similar. And I'm not saying they're the same, but they're similar. So I'm like, if Boston let go of their head coach, and I know the young lady that was alleged in that situation worked for the organization, but I mean, why can't we get it all across the board right? And if you're gonna let Udoka go, who is a fantastic coach up there, and you see what he's doing with the Houston Rockets, he took the Boston Celtics to the finals. People forget that. Remember they lost to Golden State, so he was in the finals too. He got fired after taking them to the finals. So what's the difference?
Yeah. Well, you know, the difference is, I mean, I hate to say it, this is America, and there's different sets of rules. So, you know, maybe if Udoka name was Sam Smith and he wasn't a brother, maybe he would have lost his job. I'm just putting it out there. That's a possibility.
I dig it, man. I dig it. But let's move on. I just want to get everybody's opinion on the Vrabel situation. But we're going to switch over. We're going to switch gears. We're going to talk NBA action, man. We're getting down to the stretch of things. I think it's 2 games remaining max. And right now, we kind of got in the Eastern Conference, we kind of got things solidified. So right now, we got the number 1 seed in the East is the Detroit Pistons. Number 2 seed will be I believe the Boston Celtics. I think the Knicks have a slight chance of moving into that. But right now, I'm thinking it's going to be the Celtics, Knicks, Cavs at 4, Hawks at 5, and the Raptors at 6. And then now you got the playing game between you have the Magic and 76ers, and you're going to have the Hornets and Heat. So when you look at this roster, you potentially matchups that you can see. You know, I ain't going to get with the number 1, number 2 seed, but number 3 could be playing 6, and you got the Knicks versus the Raptors. If that's the potential series, what do you think happens in that matchup between those 2 organizations that just made a trade a couple years ago that helped both teams? Because you got the booty band. I mean, RJ Barrett. Used to be a Knick. Now he's a Raptor, and he's up there playing fantastic basketball. I guess when you can run out on a check for a booty bill, I think that you'll be okay. $17K to be exact. I wonder if dude got paid yet. Like, I've heard about it. I'm pretty sure he got paid. But then you got the Knicks who got Jalen Brunson, and that's what happened. They was able to bring Jalen Brunson in and make him the focal point of that offense. So what do you think about that? If the Knicks and the Raptors end up playing in the first round, how do you see that series going?
What if Fat Joe said when Grady Dick got drafted by the Toronto Raptors? Fat Joe said, "I like Dick in Toronto." That's what Fat Joe said. He said Dick in Toronto's my thing. So, by all that being said, I do not see the Toronto Dinosaurs beating the New York Knicks in the first round. If the Knicks lose in the first round, all hell's going to break loose in New York. If they lose, they can't lose in the first round. Considering they were in the conference championship last year. So I definitely don't see the Knicks going down in the first round. I think they'll take care of business and take care. If they play the baby Raptors, I think they'll beat the Raptors in the first round.
I can't see it either. It's going now. This series is going to be a lot more competitive than people think because guys that we don't know about and Scotty Barnes is going to be able to be. A lot of people don't know who Scotty Barnes is, and
He's
Scotty
good.
Barnes,
He's legit.
If Scotty Barnes was playing for the Knicks, we'll be talking about this guy being all defensive first team and all this stuff. The guy is extremely versatile. He can rebound the ball. He can handle the ball. But he plays for Toronto. And if you're not Vince Carter, people don't really pay attention to you a lot up there. And I think that we are going to see a lot of him on display. Brandon Ingram is a guy that we know can score 20 points per game. And R.J. Barrett is another guy. I know I make jokes about him. But, I mean, pay your bill, nigga. Like, shit, I can't make a joke about it if you pay your bill. So I think that when you look at guys like R.J. Barrett, but, you know, the most thing that we got to look and see what the length is on Dick. If Dick is going to be – if Dick can really get in between and penetrate, it's going to be a long day for the Knicks. And we know the Knicks like to play booty games up there too. Josh Hart playing.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
That's crazy work. I don't know what it is. I don't play like that, but I guess people play like that. But no, all actuality, I don't think the Knicks will lose in the first round. We know that it'll be pandemonium if they don't win in the first round. We know they brought in Mike Brown. You know, they got rid of their head coach last year, even after going to the Eastern Conference Finals, something they had never been to in years, and you fire him. And if Mike Brown can't lead them past at least the first round, man, I think they're going to blow New York up. Not literally, guys.
No, not like that. Yeah.
So I say the Knicks. But now,
hey, Jody, this is such a freaky series. They might have to broadcast this on Pornhub. This is a lot of freaky shit going on. And this, we got to have 7 games in this one. This
it's
freakazoid.
It's so freaky, man, because it's a lot of dick up there. You got people playing booty hole games.
Yeah.
And like
they be twisting nipples and shit on the side, and all the Knicks be doing some freaky shit, bro.
Yeah, I know y'all cool, but we ain't that cool.
Hell no.
So now we got another one, and we got the 4-5 matchup, which is very intriguing because the Hawks are one of the hottest teams in the league. Jalen Johnson is showing why he's probably going to be the most improved player if he can be. This guy's he's down there walking triple-double. We got Dyson Daniels down there. Those two guys, they said, shit, we got better by getting rid of Trae Young. And, you know, they got the second-year guy, Rooshashir down there. What do you think about Atlanta and now James Harden with the Knicks? I mean, with the Cavs, and you got Mitchell, and of course Spidey gonna do his thing, and then you got Mobley, and you got the big kid in the middle, Allen. Who wins this series, man? This is a good one right here.
I'll tell you what, man. The Hawks have been very impressed after they got rid of Trae Young and his bad hairline. They've been playing some really good basketball. I'm impressed with the Hawks. I know as a Spurs fan, you don't like the Hawks to be playing as well. Jody thinks you guys do have their first round pick, so you won't be getting the first pick off of this team. Maybe you have to wait another year and then get the first pick again.
It's all good.
But the Cavs there's a lot of pressure on this team, man. They underachieved last year. They made a big trade to bring in James Harden. But we all know James Harden lives out of his suitcase. This man does not like to unpack anywhere he goes, Jody, because he knows if it doesn't go right, I don't buy one-way tickets. He always buys round-trip tickets. So we all know if it don't work out in Cleveland this offseason, James Harden will be playing for another franchise. He's running out of teams to play for. Maybe if he's waiting for Seattle to get a new team, he can go up there and play there. But I think the Cavs will take care of business. They do have the experience in this first round against the Hawks, but the Hawks are a scary basketball team. They've been playing some really good hoops of late, but I'm going to go Cavs to take care of business against the Atlanta Hawks.
We got my man Andrew mic'd up in the building. He said Alexander Walker doing work too. Yeah, Alexander Walker, that was a big pickup from the Minnesota Timberwolves. I bet Minnesota wish that they still had him on the roster right now. This is a very intriguing matchup. But once again, you brought up James Harden. I fear for James Harden when they visit the Atlanta Hawks because the strip clubs are going to go crazy in Game 3. Game 3, I guarantee you the Cavs lose Game 3 because if Cleveland has home court, Game 3, that nigga is not going. He gonna miss curfew in Game 3. He be like, I've been up here in Cleveland. Cleveland might have some nice strip clubs, but Atlanta is the mecca of strip clubs. And James Harden's name is probably on the strip club Hall of Fame list down there. So I think Game 3 is a guaranteed loss for the Cavaliers. But all jokes aside, man, I like the Cavs winning this. I think that Spidey is a guy that, Donovan Mitchell, I'm very high on Donovan Mitchell. I don't know why he doesn't get the respect. This guy consistently averaging 24 and 25 and 26 points a game. And I always bring this up. When he was in the Western Conference, we all talk about how difficult it is to win in the Western Conference. When he played for the Utah Jazz had the best record in the Western Conference, and the second best player on his team was Rudy Gobert.
Your favorite center.
We know Rudy couldn't score if he was on the court by himself in a lot of cases. I'm just playing Rudy. I'm fucking with you, Rudy. But when you
no, you're not.
All jokes aside, if your second best player offensively is Rudy Gobert, and you're the number one seed in the Western Conference, that's an MVP caliber season for Mitchell, and he wasn't even in the top 6 in the MVP voting in that season. I think with the Cavaliers, where I think the Eastern Conference was better than the Western Conference this year because all 10 teams that's going to make the playoffs or the play-in, all are well over 500. We haven't seen that in quite some time. Normally, we see teams that be 3 or 4 teams is under 500. Not this year. So I think the Cleveland Cavaliers, like you said, experience. James Harden is going to play well in Cleveland. I just don't think he's going to play well in Atlanta. I think he's going to be a lot of distractions when they go to the city of Atlanta. But I think that the Cavaliers win it in 6. I think they win 4 games to 2. Atlanta's on the uprise. They'll probably get some more pieces down there in Atlanta. The Atlanta Hawks may be the Detroit Pistons next year. Atlanta has the potential to be the Detroit Pistons of this year, next year. So keep an eye on Atlanta Hawks.
If the Raptors, if the Cavs lose in the first round to this young Hawks team, oh my goodness, I think all hell is going to break loose, and they might have to make some changes. The experience that they have on that roster, that would be a huge upset in my opinion. I think they have to win this year. They can't lose in the first round.
Hey, why did Kathy say Harden will be on the phone with Kraft and Watts for the boys' night out? That would be a crazy. I know it'd be a lot of happy endings on that night. And if anybody have a game the next day, I don't think they're gonna have enough energy to play in that game.
The Cavs might want to just show up, treat it as a regular season game, but they show up to Atlanta the day of the game, and they just go straight to the gym and hoop. Maybe that'll save them in that game 3, Jody.
Hey, they need to lock James Harden in his room. But then last but not least, we got a couple playing games. And so we got 7, 8, 9, 10. We got the Magic, 76ers, Hornets, and Heat. Out of those 4 teams, who gets the 7th seed out of those 4 teams? So
I'm gonna go the Magic. Is gonna get that 7th seed. I think they're there now. That means they only have to win 1 game and they locked into the playoffs. And I'm gonna go Raptors to win it. I'm gonna go 76 to win the AC seed.
This is a difficult one right here, man. I was very high on the Magic. I thought the Magic would be within the top 6 teams. They didn't quite make it there. I thought Pablo Ventura was going to have a breakout MVP type of season. I mean, he had a decent season, but this is his growth is he started to get stunted in his growth a little bit, kind of like Zion Williamson. And maybe this is the best he's going to be. Not saying that that's bad, but when you're looking at trying to be an elite team, you got to have an elite superstar. So it's making me think that maybe he's a number 2. Maybe he's having that same type of trajectory that Aaron Gordon had when he went to the Magic. Y'all remember when he got drafted by the Magic, and then they're like, we found out, well, he's not a number 1. Because remember, people forget he went to Arizona. People forget Aaron Gordon went to Arizona and I believe was the number 4 pick of that draft. So I'm gonna be honest with you, the 76ers get the 7th seed. And that's because the way Paul George had played off of this suspension, and B all of a sudden has a new knee. They get Maxey back. They got the VJ, the rookie. I think that talent-wise, they get the 7th seed, and it's going to be a hell of a series with the Boston Celtics in that situation. But the AC guys, it's going to the Hornets, man. The Hornets gets the 8th seed. I think they're one of the hottest teams since January.
They are hot.
You got Melo Ball, who can give you 30, 40 points in a game. He plays too goddamn much. I seen that he threw some fucking mop water on Con Knipple. Man, come on, man. I would have when I played. I know when you played, it was always that one motherfucker in the locker room
play too much,
play too goddamn much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring up my one of my good friends, Josh Alpha. We played, and he played too
he's a passer now, so I'm not going. But he played too goddamn much. Like, dude, like he hiding people's jerseys, and we trying to get ready for practice, and you know what I'm saying, hiding people's shoes. And man, I don't got time for that shit. I don't give a fuck if it's practice or a game. I got to be focused. Like, cause how you gonna get better if you're not focused? And he used to play too much, and that's what I see Melo ball, and he's the best player on the team, and he's playing too much. I heard Shaq used to play a lot too, though.
Yeah,
I heard Shaq used to play too much. But I like the Hornets, man. They got a lot of talent. Kai Knippel won't get Rookie of the Year, which I would have put him a week ago. Remember, I was like, he should win it. But after what Cooper Flag week he done had, man, we like, okay, it ain't about team success. It's about individuals, your rookie year. So, yeah, I got the Hornets, and I got the Heat going home, and I got the Magic going home. So,
oh, Jody, I'm gonna put this out here. I know the People's Champ is not here, but I'm gonna act like him for a minute. I hate the play-in tournament. You got 82 games to make the top 8. If you can't fucking make the top 8 in 82 games, god damn it, you don't deserve to make the playoffs. I know the play-in tournament's here. It's probably not going to go anywhere. I just don't like it. What do you think?
I don't like it either. I'm like, I think we should remember. I'm the type of person that want to shrink the playoffs because it makes I think it only should be 6 teams per conference because you only got 30 teams. I think it should be only 6 teams per conference making it, because that makes the regular season mean more. But the more you add, the less value you have to. That's why you got so many people on load management. That's why you had to make the rule where you got to play 65 games because nobody gives a fuck. Because in the NBA, home court is not as important as it is in football.
No.
You know what I mean? Even in baseball, I think baseball is home field means more than with basketball because if you're an LA Dodger, you don't want to come all the way to the New York Yankees to play in the World Series in Game 7 and it's cold as shit in October and November. So I think it means because it's outside. That's why NFL means more because it's out. Potentially you're going to be outside or inside. Basketball is gym. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Motherfucking rims are the same 10 feet, and the weather is not going to be a problem indoor unless you're the San Antonio Spurs and you turn the heat up on the Heat.
Yeah.
Hey, we turned the heat up. We remember the Heat went out, and the Boston Celtics was like that too when they played the Lakers. Man, they used to always, quote unquote, the air conditioner would go out when the Boston Celtics played the Los. That was gamesmanship.
Yeah,
but
Magic said the Celtics would turn off the hot water at the hotel. All that shit they would do.
Oh, they would turn the hot water off in the locker room. They would always have room temperature water. It was just gamesmanship. But I like that when you got a rival. But nevertheless, man, I think that home court doesn't matter as much. And I just think that the Hornets will get in the AFC, man. So do I like the playing game? Absolutely not. I think you should shrink the playoffs because it devalues your regular season. And you wonder why the NBA has the worst regular season out of all sports. So Kathy said, Jody, I agree. The top 16 make the best and more competition. Yeah, it definitely would. For sure. But let's talk about the Western Conference. Now, the Western Conference, man, this year teams battled a lot of injuries from your top seed in SGA. We know that Jalen Williams missed a lot of games. Chet was almost the healthiest guy out of those guys.
That's crazy, right?
Spurs, they had a few injuries. We know the Nuggets, Joker was out. Murray was out for some time. The Lakers, Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves that you don't like. Yeah, I said it. You don't like Austin Reeves. And we know the most significant injury that people are not talking about is Van Fleet being hurt with the Houston Rockets. Yeah. If Van Fleet was in that roster, the Rockets would probably be the number 2 seed in the Eastern. And that's with my Spurs. I think they would have won 60 games with a proven point guard. We know Anthony Edwards injuries, the son of Devin Booker, Dylan Brooks. So your top 7 teams have been dealing, and we know about the number 10 seed Warriors with Steph Curry missing, I think, like 29 games. So we know the significance of injuries. But now we know 1 and 2 is set. We know Oklahoma City's 1. We know San Antonio is going to be number 2. Those are only 2 teams in the league that have won 60 games as well. But now we got number 3 Nuggets who are hot. I think they just won a 12th game. Could potentially go against the Timberwolves in the first round. We know what happened last time they got together. The Minnesota Timberwolves beat them. That was a second round matchup, I think, a couple years ago. Who do you like in this series between the Nuggets and Timberwolves?
Yeah, last time they played in the playoffs, Joe, you're right. The Joker ran out of steam in that series and went 7, and they actually had a big lead in that game 7, and Ant-Man brought them back, and they ended up winning that series and losing to my Mavericks in the conference finals. That seemed like 50 years ago. But there's a lot of pressure on the Nuggets, and you started this pressure because you've been saying the Joker needs to get out of the second round of the playoffs. He's only done it once, and now I'm starting to hear other programs say the same thing that you said weeks ago. People are stealing from us once again, and I think this is what needs to happen in this series. I think the Joker needs to do his thing like he always does, but he needs more help, and I think he'll get that in this series. I think the Timberwolves are a good team. They've been pretty inconsistent all year, so I got the Nuggets winning this series in possibly 6 games.
You know, it's crazy. So, and it's cool. It's cool because
no, it's not cool.
And I'm gonna tell you why. Let me tell you why. It's cool because I think that imitation is the best form of flattery, in my opinion. Because when you take from us, we just gonna come with something new. Y'all gonna have to keep taking from us until y'all give us our credit. And the reason why I said something about the Joker, I actually had started it last year, but I didn't have any proof until this year that he runs out of gas. And then I started seeing nobody really did. If you look at any story on the Joker, it's always so positive. They talk about the only thing they say bad, but do he love playing for the Nuggets? Dude, what's more important, his horses or winning the NBA championship? But fuck all that. Y'all don't get down to the nitty gritty when it comes to these foreign players. Y'all never give foreign players no kind of grief. You don't. Luka Doncic, y'all, yeah, they say argue with the rest, but you never hear like he can't win the big game. Like you have never heard Luka Doncic not being able to win the big game, but you talk about motherfuckers like Trae Young not winning the big game. Oh, but people forget Trae Young was in the Eastern Conference Finals, I believe, in his second or third year in the league.
Yeah,
he did it before Luka because everybody know Luka and Trae Young got traded for each other, which I think was the best move for both players because I don't think Luka is the same Luka in Atlanta starting off his career. Trae Young was built for Atlanta, and you know Dallas is better suited for foreign players. Dirk Nowitzki being one of them, being the legendary Dirk Nowitzki. But once again, I know you don't like this, but nobody gives Dirk Nowitzki any pushback. Played 20 years and won championship. If that was Tim Duncan, we'll be talking about how Tim Duncan's career was a bust. Can we be real? If Tim Duncan played 20 fucking years and only had one championship, he would never be considered a top 5 power forward because, well, he didn't do this and he should have did that. He played with these Hall of Famers. He should have did that. Dirk did the same fucking thing, and people are praising him. And a lot of people got this dude as high as the number 3 power forward of all time. Talk to me about that before I even get to this series.
I got a lot to say, nigga.
Go ahead.
Got a lot to say. Dirk won championship. We won it with the Dallas Mavericks. Dallas Mavericks has been a joke NBA franchise forever. So his one championship means it's equal to 4 championships for some other organization.
No, it's not.
Let me finish.
No,
Let me finish.
You're my nigga.
Let me finish.
Because San Antonio didn't win shit before Tim Duncan got there.
Yeah, but the Spurs have been winning, bro. They've been on the verge of winning for years, even before Tim Duncan got there. They've been a respectful franchise for a long time. The Dallas Mavericks have never been really close to winning any damn thing. And let's not forget, Dirk's championship run is probably the best championship run in playoff history. Who was the second best player on that team?
Me?
JJ
Barea.
I do believe he knocked off the Portland Trailblazers. Which had a really nice
Brandon Roy.
They knocked off the back-to-back champion Kobe Bryant led
swept
them. We also beat the upstart Oklahoma City Thunder, and then we beat the Heatles in their gym to win the championship.
So you want a fucking cookie? Do you want a fucking cookie? Do you want a fucking cookie?
Goddamn right, and I want it to be boneless.
You got some more, but no. So listen, I'm agreeing with what you said because we're not gonna get off the top. We got a couple minutes. We're not because I'm not letting y'all off the hook on this shit. These foreign players, we praise them and say we never seen a player like this before. We be like we never seen Tony Kukoc. We never seen Arvydas Sabonis and Oscar Smith, who never got. I wish Oscar Smith would have had his chance in the NBA. I really wish that Oscar Smith, if anybody don't know who Oscar Smith is, please look Oscar Smith up. I believe he has the most points ever worldwide, which, you know, he played in Brazil, I believe. But anyway, I look at these, you look at these, now you got Luka Doncic coming over. You got You got Worcestershire coming over. You got Wemby, and it's like we scared. Why are we so scared to put pressure on the guys like the Joker? The Joker is the Joker will have 6 seasons where he's going to be in the top 2 or 3 in MVP, and he has 1 championship to boot.
Yeah.
There's no pressure there.
There is. But I'm gonna tell you, because it seemed like he's the type of their attitude. A lot of foreign players, their attitude nonchalant. You know, I'm here making money, but I'm not. I don't really care if I win or I lose. But I'm gonna tell you what, this kid, Wemby, after watching him play and his attitude to the game, he put so much pressure on himself. He don't have to worry about what the media says about him. This kid was upset by losing the All-Star game. Who gets mad at losing the All-Star game? So Wemby is a different type of alien, whatever. I don't know if the space shuttle that came back was bringing him back also. This kid's different, man. So I think it's different for him because he puts all that pressure on himself. But I think a lot of players somewhat get it past Jody because they seem like they don't give a shit that much because they just over here to play. It's like a job to them. But Wemby's different. He's built different. I'll tell you that.
I'm gonna tell you why the foreign players are coddled. That's the word. Everybody listening, that's the fucking word I'm looking for. Foreign-born players are coddled. And it seems like it's more the European foreign-born players are coddled because we technically, Akeem Olajuwon was a foreign-born player, Embiid, foreign-born player, but we know they're from the continent of Africa. Ben Simmons is from Australia, and y'all get that motherfucker hell. He's from Australia. And I love you there, Ben Simmons. If Ben Simmons is available, because I know you got plenty of time in your hands unless you have LA Fitness. Come on and
I thought he was a pro. I thought he was a professional bass fisherman. I thought that's what he was doing.
Listen, man, I would love for Ben Simmons to get on the show because people forget his first 4 years in the league. Anyway, but like I'm going back to say, I think that European players and Chinese players, going back to Yao Ming, have been coddled. And I think it's because they know they bring so much international viewership from like China, and when Jeremy Lin was going off, and they scared if they give them any resistance that they'll just go back to their own country. You see, the Joker is one step away from saying fuck basketball. We know the Joker might end up being in the game, like, you know what? I don't want to play this game no more. Mid-game and get on a flight and go ride his fucking horse or something. And I think the NBA, you know how that is when you got that girl, you don't, baby, please, baby, and you do everything in your power because you don't want her to leave you, or vice versa. Women do it to men. This is a situation where the NBA is going to kiss the feet of people like Yao Ming, the Joker, these foreign-born players until they're old enough where they should, if they retire anyway, then they start talking shit about it. But they scared that people like Luka Doncic, because if Luka Doncic, Wemby, all these foreign-born players say, you know what, I'm going back to my country and play. How many? Okay, I'm put this in perspective for you. So, if that happens, how many top 10 players will be out the NBA if every foreign-born player said, "Fuck the NBA, I'm going back to my country"?
Well, first of all, Joe, I don't think that's never going to happen because they're not going to make $500 million contracts playing.
They don't give a fuck about that.
Yes, they do, Joe. Everyone cares about money.
But I'm saying, fuck that. Let's say, because you know it's a multi-billionaire Arabian guy that's trying, the guy that's doing the boxing. What if he say, "Fuck it, go back to your country, I'll pay the bill," and what I'm saying is so if the foreign-born players leave right now, if SGA go back to Canada, if Joker goes back to Slavia, I'm gonna say Europe, if Wemby goes back to France, if Rudy Gobert goes back to his country,
he's from Cleveland.
If let's say even like Embiid go back to Cameroon, I believe that's where he's at. Please, don't get me. I'm just saying, if you look at the top 10 players in the league, how many of them are foreign-born? That's the question I'm asking.
Oh, there are so many that's foreign-born. And Jody, you know what will be nice about that if it happens? We can finally have an American-born player that wins MVP. We haven't had that since James Harden, I believe. Am I right?
Yeah,
That's the last time we had an American-born player that's won the MVP.
Yeah,
I think it was
James, Joker,
defense Harden.
It was because you're right. Giannis, Joker, SGA, Wemby probably win this year, or SGA win this year, or Luka
Embiid?
Doncic. Embiid won it. Damn, you're right, man. I think it might have been the James Harden or LeBron James or Steph Curry. Those been the last 3 American-born players to have won the MVP. But the thing I'm trying to say is I think they get coddled by the NBA because
Yeah.
Adam Silver wants to keep that international component to the league because it's bringing so much viewership. Because now that we don't even watch games no more, it's like the foreign. Like if you got Yao Ming, if Yao Ming was to come to the NBA right now, the viewership would be crazy because they were bringing millions upon billions of people watching Yao Ming just from their country alone. Not billions, but millions upon millions. So I think they coddle them because they scared that these guys will just walk away. Because a lot of them, money is not everything to a lot of these guys. Because once you make enough money, you can go back to your country and you live like a king because the cost of living is cheaper in your country than it is in America. So,
Well, Joe, that's a great point you made because if you think about it, we've heard reports that the commissioner has had talks about having teams, foreign teams that be a part of the NBA or starting their own league over there. So that kind of talks going on. So he knows where his bread is buttered. So you're right. He might not want to lose those players to their home countries permanently, at least.
yeah, I'm telling you, because they got just because they not when these guys, these billionaires, we ain't the only country that got billionaires. Are you crazy?
Damn right. You right about that shit.
It's people. I told you, it's this Saudi. I don't know his name, and I'll find out what his name is. It's a Saudi Arabia guy that's doing all the boxing. That's why he's taking all the boxing. All the boxing is going on. Like the major events are in Dubai. And who in Dubai? Shit, everybody want to go to Dubai. Even the IG models want to go to Dubai. Anyway,
hey, you know who sponsored that flag football game? I heard that was a Middle Eastern guy that gave Tom Brady and JD5 and them guys all that money to play in that game. So that money is you said, money is green in every country.
I think that's the same guy, and if he gets his hand and he makes it where you can't monopolize shit, and he started. You remember when the USFL? Remember Donald Trump ran the USFL, and they were getting guys like Herschel Walker to come over, Jim Kelly. They were getting some of the top guys coming out. I think Steve Young went there first. They were getting some of the top athletes in college to go over there, and then the NFL said, "Oh, let's buy this motherfucker," and that's what they did. And I think that's what Adam Silver is scared about. So he coddled these guys and don't put pressure on them, like the Joker, and like. I think Dirk was already out the league, but I'm telling you, I'm on to something here. And like I said, any other organization or any other sports entity start talking about that, y'all better start paying homage to Against Your Range Sport because none of y'all will talk about this until us. But anyway,
that's true, Joe. That's not want everybody to think out there. We don't think these guys are not great players. They are outstanding players. They're just like you said. They don't get the same criticism as American-born players, but they are great players. Believe me.
Absolutely not. I mean, like I said, going back to the original question, if Tim Duncan had the same career that Dirk Nowitzki had and only had one championship, one MVP, what would be the narrative on Tim Duncan right now? Well, let's be real. What would be the narrative on Tim Duncan?
He would still probably be the best power forward.
No, he wouldn't.
Talent-wise,
he would not be. He would not be the power forward all time.
For years, they talked about Karl Malone being the best power forward, and he didn't win shit. So if he got one, that would probably put him up there as well.
The thing about it, the reason why they were saying Karl Malone and Charles Barkley was because they didn't have anybody. They didn't have the Giannis's of the world. They didn't have the Kevin Garnett's of the world yet. So they were the best power forwards because remember, the centers was the one getting all the attention in those days. You had the Shaqs and you had the Olajuwons and the Kareem Abdul-Jabbars. So that's why the power forwards didn't get love. Now power forwards get love because we don't have the centers in the league anymore. So power forwards get the love now because now you're a point forward, so to speak. But I think that Tim Duncan would still be considered a top 10, but he wouldn't be up. I think they'll be talking about Giannis easily being the number one power forward all time just with his career. I think that if Tim Duncan and Tim Duncan and Dirk had the same career, they'll pick Dirk over Tim. I think they will pick Kevin Garnett over him. I think a lot of people are like, well, Kevin McHale was better than him. He would not be considered if he had the same career that Dirk had.
Hey, Joe, speaking of, we always talk about the old heads from the NBA. I always talk trash about the new guys. I saw a podcast and Charles Oakley was on there. He was a really good NBA player. He said Giannis in his day, Giannis would be struggle to score. He would be a role player. I said, come on,
Yeah.
come on, Oakley, come on, bro. You act like this dude is not an elite level talent in this league. He can play any generation, man. Let's not do this.
I'm
No,
not
no,
going to
let's
listen.
not do this.
I don't give a shit, and I like Oakley. Oakley good.
I like him too, man, but bro,
I'm tired of these older players coming on these things talking about what this player wouldn't have did, and the player that are saying it wasn't even good. Let's be real, Oakley wasn't that good.
no.
Oakley was an enforcer, and he had everybody know that he'd pop them in their mouth. And a lot of times that's bully ball. And I'm so used to bully ball where I'm from, inner city playing basketball. We had guys that could not play. We had a place called Roosevelt. Roosevelt was the mecca of basketball. Actually, was rated the top 50 gym in the country during this heyday. Me and my partners would go up there and go hoop, and the guys that could play that was skilled, like myself and other guys, they would just flat out just foul us. Like it would be no skill. You come in the middle, the older guys, the bigger guys, the younger guys in high school that got names for themselves. Oh, you ain't gonna get this off here. This ain't high school. This is this grown man. And all they would do is fucking push us down or foul us. That's how I learned how to get a jump shot. And it wasn't that I was scared of contact, but I'm like, damn, man, I'm only playing. I gotta be ready for the game Friday. And y'all niggas fouling me on Wednesday up here. Like I leave because we'll leave practice and go to Roosevelt to fine tune our game. And it was like a sense of jealousy.
Yeah.
And I think that but none of these guys was ever skilled. They just knew they were skilled and foul, like my nephew always say. And Oakley, that's all Oakley was. Oakley protected Michael Jordan when he played for the Bulls, and he protected Patrick Ewing when he played for the Knicks. So for him to come out and say a guy like Giannis, where if you put 30 power forwards, Charles Oakley's name ain't gonna be mentioned on none of them.
No.
Not saying that I appreciate he came from an HBCU, went to the NBA, not taking nothing away because I didn't go to the NBA, but to say that Giannis was struggled, that's kind of fucked up. Like, come on, man.
Only basketball players do this shit, brother. Other sports don't do it. It's crazy how that type of disrespect from the old school and the new school that happens in the NBA. I'm getting tired of hearing that bullshit, honestly.
Yeah, I don't even listen. I tune it out. But real quick, I'm gonna get to these. I think the Nuggets and Timberwolves. I think it's gonna be a repeat of history. I think the Timberwolves beat because, and I'm gonna say this. I think Anthony Edwards is going to be the difference maker. And every year, we can see Anthony Edwards taking that next step. And I think that everybody believes that Aaron Gordon is the key to unlock the Denver Nuggets. I just don't think he's gonna. His health is always. It seemed like it's been in question. Guys that they brought over in the offseason, like Bruce Brown, was supposed to add that extra spark. That was supposed to be the help that the Joker needed. They brought in Johnson. Nah, man, I think that even with Rudy Gobert, he can at least stay in front of the Joker. The Joker gonna have a triple-double, but I see him running out of gas again. I got the Timberwolves going on and moving on because people forget the last 2 years, the Timberwolves have been the team in the Western Conference Finals in back-to-back years. I don't know if it's going to be 3 because they got to go against OKC or San Antonio in the second round, but I do believe that they'll win this round.
Well, if the Timberwolves win, do they reseed? I'm trying to think, Jody. You probably know more than I do. Do they reseed in the NBA playoffs?
No.
I don't know if they do. So
No.
So right now, we all know the Spurs are the 2 seed, and they're going to play at the higher seed. Is that automatic? Because let's say right now, if the Nuggets win, they're going to automatically play the Spurs. We know that because the Spurs are the 2 seed, and the Thunder we get the lower seed. You would think the Thunder would play the Timberwolves if the Timberwolves end up upsetting the Nuggets. You would think it. I don't think they do that.
I don't think they do that. I think they already have it kind of set in stone. I think it's like, okay, if the 3-6 plays the 2, and then the 4-5 plays the 1. I think that's how it's always been. But don't quote me on that. I think that's how it's always been, but we'll find out. It ain't like NFL where you gotta wait to see what your opponent is. But let me make sure that's correct.
The brackets are the brackets, like you were saying, though. They don't change.
I think it's a bracket thing in the NBA. Kathy said, if I remember correctly, there were countries paying athletes to defer and compete for the country for the Olympics. I am not sure. I am old. And Donald said, Nuggets over T-Wolves. I don't like the Timberwolves letting Alexander Walker go. And that was cool, but I think that DiVincenzo gets more of an opportunity. And I think DiVincenzo is the X factor for the Minnesota Timberwolves that can, because DiVincenzo is very fearless. He's a fearless scorer. So I'm gonna go with the upset in this one. And then it also to make my narrative even better about the Joker.
Joe, if you got a white guy named Dante, he fears nothing.
He don't fear a goddamn thing. But then we got another. We got a 4-5 potential 4-5 matchup. Right now, the Lakers have the home court advantage in this one. I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking. So I'm thinking Luka Doncic will be back at some point. I think they say he went overseas to get treatment on his hamstring. I'm hoping that he's available, and I think Austin Reeves is about 2 weeks out himself. Both of them are receiving the best medical treatment as possible, so they may be ready with this break because they got the play in and the rest, and so he may be ready when it starts. So let's say they are ready, and they go against the Houston Rockets. Who do you like in this matchup between the Lakers and Rockets, with the Lakers having home court?
There are reports that I don't believe this. They're saying that Luka's not hurt as much as they're saying he is. It's just like coincidence that he's got to go overseas and get this treatment because his almost wife is trying to get half of his money. So he's like, I got to get over there. We can have some face-to-face conversations about this. I don't believe that. I really think he really is hurt, but I think he'll be back for the playoffs. But I just don't trust this Rockets team, man. I really like Kevin Durant's a dog. We all know they have some nice players on the roster. But like you said, Jordan, not a traditional point guard, but they need somebody else to make some plays on this team. I've seen games with the Rockets, and they're triple teaming Kevin Durant because they have no really other scoring options. And I think the Lakers can do enough to beat them, especially if they get back one of those two Anglo guys in the backcourt. They don't need both of them. If they get one of the white guys back, I think they'll be just fine. And I think that they'll take that. They still got LeBron. LeBron's still playing, not LeBron of 10 years ago, but he's still playing at a high clip right now. And I think the Lakers will take care of the Rockets.
Okay. Donald said, my nephew, the voice of you, said they don't need to receive because nobody gets a bye round. If you get a bye round, it's not reseeded. It doesn't get you the first seed as much benefit. And he said, Donald said, it's funny, but Luka can go overseas to get treatment and come back healthy. But if an American goes to Miami and get treatment, they say he's on steroids. Ooh, Donald, where the hell you at, Donald? Get on this show. We're going to talk about that when you get on there. Because we all know if LeBron, God forbid, LeBron puts $1 million into his body, God forbid that it actually is paying off for him. God forbid that the treatment of this man taking. Have y'all seen LeBron James? He probably got 0 ounces of fat on his body. And we tend to say, well, he's 40. He's on steroids. Steroids don't make you shoot the basketball better, guys. And then I'm gonna go with the bait. It don't make you hit the ball better. It may you hit the ball longer, pause, but it doesn't. That doesn't. I don't think steroids help you with your hand-eye coordination.
No, it don't.
That's another. Now it might help a pitcher, but it ain't gonna help a hitter. Anyway, I like the Lakers to upset the Rockets. And it was funny. I saw last night that Amen Thompson scored a career high 41 points last night. That was crazy work in a game. But this is why I don't put a lot of stock into the Rockets. I watched the game one time. They were playing the Minnesota Timberwolves, and this was an NBA playoff atmosphere. And they went into overtime. And Sengun was playing hard. He bust his mouth on the floor. And they go up 13 points in overtime. We know overtime is 5 minutes. They was up 13 points and lost because the fucking Minnesota Timberwolves went on a 15-0 run to end the game and beat them. I said, the Rockets, I don't know if the Rockets got it. And then I seen them play the game prior to that. The Lakers had played them. And the Lakers was blitzing Kevin Durant at the top of the key. And he acted like he had never seen a trap before in his life. And he turned the ball over. And it looked like he just looked out of sorts. And if you can do that to a veteran player that's played the most minutes he's played since the year 3, and he's been playing, I think, 36 minutes, 35 minutes a game. Kevin Durant. He's down there playing the most minutes. He's almost playing his age. He's 37. That's not a good sign. So I just think Houston doesn't have enough depth, even though the Lakers don't have a lot of depth either. But if Luka Doncic comes back, I think that's going to be the difference maker. Because I've seen Luka Doncic, even how great I believe Amen Thomas is the best perimeter defender. He had no answers for Luka.
No.
It was nothing he can do. He might have answers for everybody else, but Luka is a different animal because he's bigger and stronger than him. So, yeah, I got the Lakers winning this. If Luka comes back, if Luka don't come back, then of course I'm going with the Rockets because I think we can put a team together without Luka. And we got Donald. Hold on. We got to get him in the fold. I want to hear what he got to say about what he just stated on here.
Yeah, a healthy Luka is a problem, bro. I don't care what no one says.
Better late than never. And I got to get my nephew in the building on here. And the reason why I want Donald to answer this question as we are winding down on the show. Matter first, how you doing, nephew? How you feeling?
I'm all right, man. Long morning, I'm asleep, for real, honestly.
Yeah, man. You say your beard down a little bit too, man. So,
yeah, third shift, man. I'll be getting off at 7, man. I ain't got to sleep.
I know what you mean. No, you just made a statement. I want you to say the statement you said, and then I want you to tell everybody why you said that.
Why is it that Luka can he can go overseas and get a second assessment or get his treatment or whatever, but if an American goes somewhere to get his health taken care of, it's more so not if he go somewhere and get his health taken care of, they'll say he come back, he's on steroids now. And I just don't understand it because it's just like we just don't like each other. And we don't criticize others the way we criticize ourselves.
Now, Donald, the reason why I wanted you to say that is because me and Soul were just talking about it, is that once again, this is another scenario of my theory that the foreign-born player does not get the criticism. So if Donald's right, the criticism, because once again, I believe foreign-born players are coddled. They're trying to. Okay, Luka Doncic is right at the cusp of being on it. I think it'd be 64 games. He needed one more game to make MVP, whatever. But one of the games that he missed was because he had to go see the birth of his child in Europe, which that's a 14. Even if you're on a private jet, that's what a 10-hour, 12-hour flight or whatnot. And to get there, come back, and still be ready to play a game is crazy work. And then you still want to spend time with your child. Like, you can't just, I see you. Okay, kiss him, put him down, and go back on the plane. You still want to spend at least a day or two with your child. So what do you think about that? Once again, is this another situation that I'm right, or maybe I'm just talking off base?
Didn't Kobe Bryant go overseas and get some treatment also? Did they say he was on roids when he got back? I can't remember. I think Kobe went over and got some treatment on his knee. All of a sudden, the Mamba comes back unstoppable. If I'm not mistaken, am I right about that, Donald?
Probably so. I don't remember it, but probably so.
But you're right, though. It wouldn't shock me at all. That steroids is definitely something that's going to bring up. Not so much in basketball, but they would definitely bring it up if an American-born player, especially like Jolie talked about, especially if it was LeBron, they would definitely going to say he was on something. Yeah, that's part of it. I mean, it sucks. It's going to be like that, but I don't definitely see that narrative ever changing.
They've been saying, I've been hearing rumors that LeBron been on steroids since. Remember when they played against the San Antonio Spurs, and the Spurs all of a sudden the AC went out, and they said, well, that's when he got cramps because he's on steroids. I'm like, dude, why can't? This is my problem, and I'm gonna go to you, Donald, and then we'll talk about that. We get out of here. The reason why I'm saying this, Donald, is why can't people just be fucking good at what they do? Why is it always gotta be a reason why they're good at what they do? Why is it that it's an anomaly? Tom Brady, well, he's only good because he cheated. Okay, well, LeBron, he's on steroids, and he that's why he's able to be in this type of shape. Look, he's losing his hair. You know how many 40-year-olds lost their fucking hair? Come on, man. Y'all saying shit that I've seen people lose their hairline in high school. So why the fuck is we talking about this man going bald? And that's because of steroids. Shut the fuck up. Everybody lose their goddamn hair.
And then this is my thing. This is my thing. Okay, about the steroid thing. I've heard somebody say that they got it for him or whatever. I've never heard nobody actually say, I've seen him take this. I've heard many of people that I know personally even explain, no, if he comes over your house to play cards, he's bringing somebody to massage him. He's going to wonder what you got over there to eat. He's not going to eat right. He's not going to do certain things. Why does that, the one bad thing or somebody saying whatever overpowers people saying things a million times? You can look up Kendrick Perkins saying that. They said they were 16 years old. He's playing AAU with LeBron, right? Mm-hmm. So he said they get done playing the AAU game, and the kids were like, we about to go to McDonald's. He said at that point, LeBron told him, y'all going to what? McDonald's? That stuff gonna kill your body. He said at 16 years old, he was already programmed to be the machine that he was going to be. I'm not eating on McDonald's. We got to have fruit, and we got to be able to lay a certain way. He said, so my thing is, why people gonna say you on steroids or whatever on that? Why not the decisions you make in the discipline you have pay it off? And to this day, all of his teammates say, yeah, LeBron, he's gonna be the first person to the gym and everything. Why can't you just do it right and make you do right? Why got to be something to it?
Yeah.
So jump in here on that, because that's the same scenario when you hear Jay-Z as a rapper. He had to be good. He had to sell his soul to the Illuminati, or that's how Kanye got his money. And it's only seemed like it's only black athletes that got to explain that they're fucking good. Talk to me, Soul.
100% I agree on this, man. But it's obvious LeBron has made a lot of choices to be where he's at now. Because lately I've been hearing a lot of interviews. He's saying things about how he missed eating cookies and shit that normal people get to do. He misses those type of things. So I got a feeling when he retires, LeBron might get fat. And he's gonna like, you know what? Bring on the boneless cookies. I mean, everything I can. But discipline has got him where he's at now. I agree with you on the black thing, Jody, because I've heard people say Beyonce wouldn't have been a star if Aaliyah was still alive. Like, there's not room for two superstars. It's like, come on, why are we doing this? Jay-Z wouldn't be what he was if Biggie was still here. Really? Come on.
You
They
never
had
heard
Biggie and Jay-Z albums together. Let's not do this.
You never heard nobody say that. Well, Taylor Swift can't be a star because it's a Mariah Carey. No, it's both of them.
That's what I'm saying. It's just. But it's only our culture that has to minimize what somebody's doing. But other cultures don't. They ain't saying if it was another 7-footer, Yao Ming wouldn't have been Yao Ming. Come on, guys. It's like sometimes people are just really good, and God blessed that person to be that good. Like Wemby is 7'4". We have never seen Wemby's body style. We people can say Kevin Garnett. He's a mixture of Kevin Garnett and Ralph Sampson. That's who he is, but neither one of those guys are Wemby. Wemby has the potential to win the MVP and the Defensive Player of the Year in the same year. Only person done that, Michael Jordan. Like, so we looking at Kim Bellagio, I think he did it too. We're looking at where
happen.
Huh?
If not this year, it's like inevitable that it's going to happen with Wemby. Like one day, because he's probably going to be Defensive Player of the Year for like the next 8 years straight.
No shit.
But so, matter of fact, let me read these comments, and I got one more thing, and I'm gonna get y'all guys out of here. Kathy said, "Jody, look up Balco. Look up Lance Armstrong. He also had low fat. She called him the China James. Trains with parts of Balco, but that's all speculation. None of this. He's never tested positive on any drug test. Like, that's my thing. We love the court system when they find the people y'all like guilty. But when they don't find the people you like guilty, the court system is wrong. The court system is broke. Why is it broke if it's not the people's opinion? The court system, you got to trust it either way. You got to trust it. Either you're going to trust it all or you're not going to trust it at all. She said also Lance Armstrong was doing everything, PEDs, clean blood transfusion, and steroids. But he got caught. He was found guilty. Plus, he had cancer. And I think that's why he was doing it. We found out he had testicular cancer. Then he said, she said, dude, they have creams, sprays, and other things that they use. He said, Jody said, Lance Armstrong had all these in the Tour de France, stripped away. Neither did Lance. Lance Armstrong did, because he also came out and admitted. Yeah. Lance Armstrong came out and admitted that he did PEDs. Barry Bonds never admitted he had PEDs and never popped. LeBron James had never admitted that he had it or any speculation. So we can't go with speculation just because we want a reason why these people are so great. We can't have this just because in our mind, it's no way somebody can play 22 years and still be as good as they are. But guess what? God has blessed only a certain amount of people. And not only do he bless them, but they actually get in the gym and they manifest it. You see what I'm saying? They're not just sitting. Look at all these players like Donald and Soul just said. Joe Dumars was not a big guy until he got out the league. What's your guy? Felton. Felton. These guys are bigger guys. Like, did y'all see Eric Snow? Like, when the game is over, man, they get to go and.
You seen Sean Kemp lately?
Sean Kemp.
Oh goodness.
But yeah, let's talk about this. And this is the MVP race, guys. And the MVP race in the NBA is interesting because, like I said, I don't know what they're gonna do with the game with Luka Doncic. If Luka Doncic gets an appeal and gets that one game wave, he is eligible to be MVP as well as all NBA honors. But if they're gonna do that for him, here comes Cade Cunningham. Like, okay, what's up with me? You know, I had my lung collapse, guys. So let's go over some of the guys that could be potentially MVP candidates. I'm gonna go with you, Donald, first. The first one, his name is, we know him best as SGA, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, 31.1 points per game, one of the leading scorers in the NBA. I think he's second in the leading scoring, 4.3 rebounds and 6.6 assists. Does he have a chance to repeat as MVP this year? So, Donald.
My opinion, he's the winner. I don't think nothing. He didn't do nothing less than last year. I just think he's having a little better season than last year. And his second best player was out a lot of times. I know you can't really give credit because that's not his fault or it's not nothing with him or against him. But I do think he should be the MVP. They're number one in wins. He's second in the league in scoring. He does, and that does a lot for him. And he actually tries to guard up. But I think he should be the winner. Actually.
You know what's crazy? I seen a stat that he has been to the line over 1,700 times this year, and the second player behind him is Luka Doncic with 1,200 free throws. That's 500 it's attempts, not makes, attempts. That's crazy work. But I mean, I see what you're saying, Donald. Good argument for SGA. So, what do you think about SGA? Does he win the MVP back-to-back seasons, or you think?
Yes, I think he wins it. Like I agree with everything that Donald said. He's second best player. Has been out for most of the season. I think Jody mentioned last week, I think they played maybe 10 games with their starting five, and SGA's numbers are probably more efficient. It ain't sexy, but he gets it done, and I think he'll win another MVP this year.
No, so they play 75 minutes together, which is not even 2 games. Their starting lineup has played. No, that was before that game happened, so I think they're over 100 minutes. But that's for the whole season. You know, 100 minutes ain't nothing but 2 games.
Yeah.
So that's crazy work. Me, I'm going to disagree. I don't think SGA wins the MVP, in my opinion. Not saying he's not deserving of it. He definitely should be a top 3. I just don't think that he's done what other guys that we're going to talk about on this list has done. And I agree. Donald, we've seen situations. This year may be better than last year, but guess what? It's a whole new year. I done seen years where Michael Jordan probably should have won every year, but they kind of gave it to Charles Barkley. They kind of gave it to Karl Malone just because what you say? So voters fatigue, and I think they already probably got voter fatigue on SGA as well as the next guy we're going to talk about could potentially win the MVP. We're talking about the Joker. The Joker has put up a triple-double. This will be the second year in a row, second time in his career where he's going to average over a triple-double, 27.8 points per game, 12.9 rebounds, 10.9 assists. He actually leads the NBA in assists. So do you think that the Joker can potentially win the MVP, his 4th, I believe, of his career?
I would say no. I don't think we're cutting hairs at this point. I think we're splitting hairs at this point. These players are so dynamic and they're going to go. Them teams people might be looking at. Oh, they didn't win as many games as this other player, so that might be the minding factor in some of these guys voting. But I think Joker missed too many games. I think he missed his 17th game last night. So I think if they follow by the rules, I don't think he can actually win the MVP. So just because of that, I'm going to say no.
Well, even if he can't win MVP, then he can't win any honors. So the All NBA first team is going to be completely full of people that have never made it before, and probably, no disrespect, probably shouldn't even deserve to be on first team. Donald, what do you think about the Joker? If the games, because I'm not sure his game. I thought he played enough games to satisfy that.
I think the Joker. I don't think he'll win it, but it's not because of his production or performance. I just think that SGA's little year is a little more impressive to me. So when I don't want to down talk another guy like saying why they shouldn't win it. I just feel like somebody else's level of play is where is that far as consistency, and then just stuff SGA's doing. He scored 20 points, 150 games in a row?
Most all time.
Huh?
Most all time.
Most time. So it's a lot of stuff he's doing, like far as with consistently and leading his group, and he's playing rather. Jalen's out, Chet's out. So I just think I will put Joker in second or third. I don't know. That's second or third. It's all tight though. I think all of them deserve some first place votes, but I would just put SG over the top.
Donald, we like tight. We
Like
definitely,
Yes, sir.
we definitely do. This is my thing, and I'm gonna say no to the Joker again. And this is, I know people like Jody, are you a Joker hater? Absolutely not. I'm a realist when it comes to this. A lot of Joker's assists don't be assists. Have y'all seen where he'll get a ball to Jamal, he'll hand it off to Jamal Murray, he'll take 4 to 5 dribbles, and then finally get to the cup as a shot clock's running out, and they will give the assist to the Joker. Have y'all ever seen it? I'm not.
Yeah.
No, I've seen him talking about it. I would have looked at some stuff. I didn't really see him. I'm not saying it don't happen. I didn't really see him.
And a lot of people like, man, we ain't never seen a center average this many assists. Well, my thing is, what I will give credit to the Denver Nuggets, it's not one time down court that the Joker doesn't touch the ball. Back in the day, I used to see Shaq go down the court, maybe on a couple occasions not touch the ball. Olajuwon might not touch the ball, and he would let the coach hear about it. Like, hey, Shaq would be like, I gotta touch the basketball. This day and there's not one time I watched a Denver Nugget game and on any possession the Joker didn't have his hand on the ball like he was the point guard. So it's kind of easier to, and I'm saying, not please, because I know it's Jody. Will you be? I'm not saying that it's not impressive, guys. Little Chris, I'm not saying it's not impressive. Donald, I'm not saying this, and I'm just using your name, so I'm just saying if you get the ball every time down court and you're the focal point like the point guard, 9 times out of 10, whenever somebody scores, it's going to be because most centers are not going to guard the Joker, so he can just pick and choose where he's going to go because the center is not going to come out that because they still got to protect the basket. But nevertheless, not taking anything away from him. But when Westbrook do it, it's a detriment to what Westbrook has done, he's done it 4 times in his career, average triple-double. And we talk about how bad he is. He's a stat padder. But when the Joker does it, he's not a stat padder. That's crazy. So in this element, not taking anything away from the Joker, but the Joker will not win MVP because we getting voter fatigue on the Joker as well. And a lot of times we looking at it like, okay, what have you done for me lately? Get out the second round and maybe we'll think about it. So I'm going to say no. Now, Don, Wemby. Victor Wembanyama, 25 points, 11.5 rebounds, 3.1 assists, and he averaged 3.1 blocks. He has a 2-block lead. He averaged 2 more blocks than anybody else in the NBA. 2 more, Donald. Nobody in the NBA averaged over more than a block and a half, 1.9 blocks in the NBA. So, I mean, Donald, talk to me. Is Wemby the MVP of the NFL?
No, I just don't. I mean, he's damn good. I just don't. MVP, defensive player of the year, I give him that. He can sweep them honors, but as far as the MVP, I just think that Joker and SGA are pretty above him. And then if you look at the actual numbers, it's like SGA is I think top 10 in defense in the NBA.
Yeah.
As far as wins, shares, and stuff. Then he's number 1 in efficiency. So you got 1 and 6 right there. You got Wemby at number 1 in defense, but he's 20 in offense.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So and the Spurs, they beat him head to head, but the Thunder have more wins than him. So I would go at SGA over Wemby.
Okay. Hey, here we go. My man Larry in the building. He said, yeah, I seen the fake assist video. So he did see that. And I went and looked at it myself. And I watched, a matter of fact, the game that I watched it was when they played San Antonio, which was an amazing regular season game where the Nuggets ended up beating them. But it was times where he would do that dribble handoff to Jamal Murray. Murray would pound the rock for another 8 seconds and then put up a 3 and hit it. And they're like, oh, assist goes to the Joker. So I seen it with my own eyes. It wasn't. I did my own. I do my own independent research. I did my own independent research. So what do you think about Wemby potentially winning the MVP?
You guys remember when Tim Duncan and the Spurs beat the Cleveland Cavaliers in the finals? They swept them, and in the hallway after Game 4, Tim Duncan told LeBron, "Hey, thanks for letting me have this, and you got the next so many years." I think that's what's going to happen this year. Wemby is. I watched him. I went to the game last night, guys, and it don't seem fair that a motherfucker can be that tall and makes 7-footers look like they're playing against little kids. It's ridiculous. I just think his youth might be an issue. I think he's going to dominate this league for the next he stays healthy the next 10 to 15 years, he's going to win a whole bunch of these MVPs. But I think he's going to have to wait. What I was impressed with, he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year. He only had to play 20 minutes last night to be eligible for all those postseason awards. And I do believe he played about 25 minutes last night. I think he scored 40 fucking points on my Mavericks with ease. And they gave him an award before the game. Third month in a row, he won Western Conference Defensive Player of the Month. They showed his stats. This motherfucker had 10 plus games this month with 4 plus blocks. What the fuck? I had to look at that again. Holy shit. Yeah, he's different. But I think he's gonna have to win his turn on an MVP. I don't think he's gonna get it this year.
Once again, my man Larry said that John Stockton had a lot of fake stats too. I go back, yeah, because Karl Malone to get the ball, you can't pound the ball. If you hold the ball more than 4 seconds, how is that really an assist? And I think we really need to recalculate. Magic had real assists because when Magic gave the ball, you only had to make one motion and score the bucket. Nowadays, you handing the ball off the motherfuckers, they dribbling through their legs, and if you got to do all that shit to score, how was it an assist? But anyway, I know I got my Spurs hat on, and as much as I want Wemby to win the MVP, no, we won't win the MVP this year. And it has nothing to do with his youth, in my opinion, because Derrick Rose, he won it in his youth, so I don't think it has nothing to do with his youth. I think it has everything to do with the fact that I don't think he puts up enough points according to his counterparts. I think, and this is my criticism, and it's very slim criticism on Victor, I don't think he rebounds as much because he's so far away from the basket so many times because he can defend the pick and roll. There's nobody in the NBA better in defending the pick and roll than Wemby because he can. This is one guy that literally can guard. You know how they say this guy can guard all 5 positions. No, this motherfucker can guard all 5 positions. Yeah. I like about 3 positions, guys. I
love my Bulls, but that Derrick Rose MVP was the robbery of the highest form. I couldn't believe it.
Hey, Donald, I like 3 positions myself. I can, that was my favorite 3. But anyway, but no, I think that Wemby, and I don't believe in that waiting your turn shit because it ain't no fucking guarantee you gonna be this good next year. Like what I go back to, Dan Marino in '84, he had a monumental season. He threw for almost 5,000 yards. He took his team to the Super Bowl, and everybody like, oh, Joe Montana and Dan Marino, this is gonna be a rivalry for years to come. Well, Joe Montana kept making it. Nigga, Dan Marino never made it again. So I believe Joe Burrow, nigga, you better figure it out because you might go into that Joe Montana. that Dan Marino situation where you went your second year and never go back. And my thing is, we got it. If I'm good now, I'm not waiting till next year. If I can win it now, let's win it now. Championships, MVPs, whatever it is, because injuries can happen like that.
No,
so, but when
another example, like when Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers and Mike Tomlin, they said a long time ago they were saying how they met in the Super Bowl, and they was like, didn't they mean the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Or they played in the AFC. No, it was the Super Bowl, and they said after the game they were saying like, oh yeah, Mike Tomlin young, Aaron Rodgers young, they'll both be back for years and years, and then they linked back up at that stage they career play together, and they neither one of them never got back. Never got back. And you can't take none of this. You can't take it for granted in the NBA because I know a lot of people is thinking that Dominique Wilkins, well, he's a high flyer. He'll eventually. Dominique never made it. Dominique never. I don't even think Dominique ever made it to a Eastern or Western Conference final because he did play for the Clippers. I don't think he ever made that. So don't take that shit for granted, man. Like Aaron Rodgers, he calls out his teammates a lot, but it's one time that I felt like you deserve everything. When they lost to Seattle and the guy didn't recover the onside kick, he said, I try to shed light on my teammates there, but I'm gonna be honest, right now, you have to make that play. It's no guarantee you get back. On onside, remember they was beating Seattle the whole game?
Yeah, they were.
And they didn't get. He said, "Dude, when he muffed the onside kick or whatever, he said you have to make that play. It's no it's no guarantee you get back."
Hold on, Donald. What was the quarterback that beat Aaron Rodgers in that game?
Who's the player?
Russell Wilson was the guy that went, and that's when they threw the interception that they could have won back. That was the year he could have won back to back because Seattle went and they played the New England Patriots, and that's when. I think Seattle could have had a dynasty then. And if you beat the Patriots and win back to back, I think they could have won about. I think Russell Wilson should really have about 3 or 4 Super Bowls.
Do y'all believe that Pete Carroll just wanted he wanted to make Russell Wilson a star, so he was responsible for it?
I think I don't want to say making, but I think that we knew Marshawn Lynch's career was going to be shorter than Russell Wilson. We knew Marshawn Lynch, he's a running back, so he only got so many years on the shelf. And I think what Pete Carroll wanted to go down as one of the best coaches of all time. And normally when you got the best coach of all time, you got one of the better quarterbacks of all time. And normally you got to have that quarterback win MVP. You see what I'm saying? So if Russell Wilson makes that play and he scores a touchdown, we got a whole different. But that's a whole different situation.
Yeah, I think I saw an interview. I don't know if it was Pete Carroll or the offense coordinator at the time. He said that since they got down there at the 1 yard line, the game plan was, okay, we'll throw it here. If we don't get it here, then we'll just run it in with Marshawn the next play. They never got a next play.
First of all, can we keep it real? That was low key a pass interference, but I'm I agree. I bet if it was flipped and if it was Richard Sherman hitting one of the New England Patriots wide receivers and Tom Brady throw that pass, I guarantee it would have been a pass interference.
Now we counting another one down. Tom Brady down to about one fair championship.
Then why?
Now it's with Tampa Bay.
Not only that, why have Marshawn Lynch not have him in the backfield on that play also? That would change the defense. They put him out. He put out like a wide receiver. What the hell they doing?
Yeah, they put him out wide. And my thing is, and this is my last thing I want to get to. I got a couple more. We got to go. Why not? If you're going to throw the ball, why not give it to Russell Wilson where he's out on a bootleg and he's on the perimeter and he can make a play with his legs or his arm? You made it where strictly he can only make a play with his arm. And we know how dynamic Russell Wilson, especially at that time of his career, was with his legs. I think that was, if you are going to throw the ball, put him on the perimeter, put him out there where he can either throw it to the sideline, throw it out of bounds, or run it himself. And but you maybe throw a slant route. But that's whatever. We know we're going to keep talking about that forever. Got another one for you guys. Solo Sports, we got Jaylen Brown, Boston Celtics. We know they were surprising the number 2 team in the Eastern Conference. Nobody had them picked there. Maybe we had them kind of looking for the lottery to get a better player in the absence of Jason Tatum. He averaged 28.7 points per game, 6.9 rebounds, 5.1 assists, and I think he's finally going to make first team all defensive, maybe first or second team. Do you think that Jaylen Brown has an argument for the MVP?
No, I think during halfway through the season, there was a lot of argument there, possibly him winning this. But I think of late, he's kind of dipped a little bit. He's missed a few games here and there. Had a great season, did a great job of leading his team back to the playoffs until Tatum got back. But I don't see him winning the MVP. I just don't see it.
Donald, what do you think about Jaylen Brown winning the potential MVP or having an argument to do so?
I don't think he'll win it, and even worse, what I honestly think he did is he had a good enough season, and he just made sure that him or Tatum won't ever win it, just because they can see how valuable both guys are, and I don't think either one of them will ever win it because of how well Jaylen Brown played this year.
That's kind of, you saying that's kind of like a Kobe and Shaq situation?
Yeah, they feel like you just, y'all valuable together, so it don't really matter.
Okay, I can see that. I think Jaylen Brown did what he had to do while Jason Tatum was out because, his numbers have dropped by, I think, 2 or 3 points scoring-wise when Jason Tatum came back. And Tatum actually I think he's averaging double-digit rebounds. So that means that the Boston Celtics are getting more second-chance opportunities. And we know that his shots is going to be taken away because of Jason Tatum. And that's just human nature if you got another player that demands shots. And I think that Donald just maybe made the best take on this is that Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum, unless they go to other teams, or I think if Jason Tatum stays out, I think that Jaylen Brown probably could have won it because he would have still been over 30 points a game, and if they could have still had the same success, but because I think they would have still had the same success. I think Jason Tatum has helped them, but he's going to help them more in the playoffs more than he's helping them now. But Jaylen Brown, outstanding season. The crazy thing is, I don't even know if Jaylen Brown is even going to make first team all NBA either, though.
With these new rules, he might make it if he don't miss too many games.
Argument's sake, let's say that everybody plays a significant amount of games. That means you got Wemby, Joker, Luka Doncic, SGA. Do you think? And hold on, you got Wemby, Luka Doncic, SGA, the Joker. You think Jaylen Brown gets that 5th spot?
It's arguable. I would go with Cade Cunningham personally.
See,
but But I can see him get it. So that fifth spot is going to be real. If everybody plays enough games, that fifth spot. But I do think somebody won't play enough games, and then that'll really, give a person that spot.
That's an argument, guys.
Yeah,
That's
it
a
is.
very good argument. And then last but not least, man, Luka Doncic leads the NBA in scoring. We know it's a debate on that 65th game. I think the NBA is gonna do the right thing and give him that 65th game because it wasn't like, I mean, your fucking birthday, your child. Like, it ain't like he lit his child. Now, if his child was in LA, I can see that him playing. He had to travel to Europe, and we know that if you're gonna go get these foreign-born players, sometimes they got to go back home. Luka Doncic, and he had significant injuries. It wasn't like he wasn't really injured, but 33.5 points a game leading the NBA, 7.7 rebounds, and 8.3 assists. LeBron James missed a significant amount of games. Austin Reeves missed a significant amount of games. And let's be honest, this Laker team is not that fucking talented. Donald, you think Luka Doncic had a chance to win the MVP?
No, I don't think he'll. Not because he didn't have a good enough season, but it's like what's crazy about Luka is it's like he always has these seasons and never wins. But I just think the SGL win it, not because of Luka not having as good of a season, but I just think the SGL be the winner.
Okay.
But I got him and Joker in like that 2-3 slot right there.
Okay. So what do you think?
No, like Donald said, the Luka has these type of seasons all the time, but he'll probably get more votes now considering he's a Laker. But I don't think people really respect some of the stuff Luka does on the court. He can hoop like no other. But I think a lot of the complaining and crying and shit might hurt his chances of winning the MVP. But so I don't think he's going to win it this year.
I'm gonna go against the grain. I really believe that Luka Doncic had an MVP season. And when you got a Laker team, look at the Lakers. And Donald says this all the fucking time. He said Vanderbilt should not even be in the fucking NBA. You see what I'm saying? And you got guys that play significant amount of minutes. We know that what the fuck DeAndre Ayton, I don't know what the fuck going on with him. You got guys like Jackson Hayes. You got guys, Marcus Smart is offensive. He's a great defender. Ain't no offense on with Marcus Smart. He can't hit free throws. How you a guard that the shortest guy on the team, but you don't play point guard? I don't know about that. He's similar to my game. I couldn't play the point, but I could shoot that pill, and I was only 6 foot. You just look at the roster. LeBron James in and out of the lineup, not being the LeBron James, of course, of 10 years ago. Luka Doncic went on a tear. That only person that can match his tear that he went on was Kobe Bryant. I mean, I think Luka done what he had to do. He was winning games. He was the reason why they were winning games. He was the most consistent player on their team. I think Luka Doncic, if he gets the satisfying amount of 65 games, I think should be held as the MVP. I would have Luka at 1, SGA at 2, Wemby at 3, Joker at 4, and then Jaylen Brown as my 5th guy. If we talk about MVP, that would be mine. Donald, give me your top 5 that we just named, and then we'll get you guys out of here.
I got SGA at 1. 2 and 3, I'm gonna stay tied for second, so that'll be 2 and 3, which would be Joker and Luka Doncic, and then I got Wemby and then Jaylen Brown.
Okay, what about you, sir?
I'm gonna go SGA, then I'm gonna go Wemby, then I'm gonna go the Joker, then Luka at the 4th spot.
Then Jaylen Brown at 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Kathy said I wouldn't consider anyone who hasn't played 90% of the games and 90% of the minutes to play. I wouldn't vote for anyone, and I respect that. And I think if we go back to the original question down at the beginning of the show, like Soul was making mention about the playing game, I believe if you only had 6 spots on each conference, you would see guys playing more games and more minutes. I think when you know that you're gonna make the playoffs and you can take nights off, and you got the other 10 teams tanking, and you can rest against the Wizards, you can rest them. And why is Bam Adebayo not in the MVP count? I'm just joking.
What was crazy about the playoffs and stuff? I was seeing some older players say a lot of guys don't even care if they don't feel like their team can win a championship. They don't care about going because they feel like we're playing for no reason. If we can't win it, then we're losing money making the playoffs. You get bonuses and stuff, but with the more you play, if the team get more games out of you and pays you less money because your contract's already paid through 82 games. So a lot of people don't even care unless you can compete for a championship.
I get it. Hey, great show, fellas. We only doing a couple shows per week, so we won't be back till Monday night because there's not a lot going on in sports right now. And the NBA playoffs will be starting off next week, so we can really dive into that. But the NFL draft, and I just don't want to burn our viewers up with kind of beating a dead horse. So I want to kind of spread it out. Pause. So we'll be back on Monday night, and we may have a guest appearance, and I'll tell you who our guest will be. I'll let you guys know who that guest will be on Monday night. He's gonna give us about 10 good minutes, and he's not Faison. It's a guy that's a big time guy on TikTok. I ran into him at the gym. He wants to do the show, so he said he'd come on. He's actually from Cincinnati.
Okay.
So he'll up on the show, and you'll know who I'm talking. You ever seen that guy like roll with me?
I'm pretty sure I've seen it.
Yeah, that's that guy. He's really big on TikTok. But we'll see how that goes. But he definitely agreed to do Monday's show. But Donald, man, give me your final thought as we get out of here.
My final thought is, I haven't been on. I don't know. It's already happened a minute ago. But the NBA, Jaden Ivey doesn't want to. I don't want to miss my word. I don't want to say something too vulgar, but you don't want to be with me and you're against it and you have to get out of the league. But some things Anthony Edwards says are equally as damaging, and you've said it about homosexuals, whatever. I'm off whatever you do, love who you love. But I just feel like it has to be some type of equality in your personal beliefs. I know I say it all the time, and it just proves my point that depending on who you are, authority only matters when you're nobody. It doesn't matter depending on who you are. Anthony Edwards said worse things than Jaden Ivey about homosexuals, and you can just keep on playing. Authority only matters when you're nobody. And then, but what I really think got Jaden Ivey cooked was, I don't know why he called out Steph Curry, but at that point, you was really gone. But the basis of it, I just don't like that, where as far as talking about people's religion and their sexuality and stuff, I think it should be equality on there. Now, disciplinary for off the court stuff or whatever, but I do feel like as far as that, it should be some equality for everybody.
Donald, I'm gonna agree with you on that because if Tom Brady decided to take a knee instead of Kaepernick, I don't think we would be having that problem.
Play on.
And I bet it would have got way more coverage because there's no way at that time because Tom Brady was still winning Super Bowl. If Tom Brady would have took a knee instead of Kaepernick, it might have been a different result.
And then about the other stuff. Remember Michael Sam he got picked and it was a big deal.
Yeah.
Why is it a big deal? Because he's willing to do some crazy things.
it shouldn't have been a big deal because
it was groundbreaking.
But my thing is, it shouldn't have been a big deal because nobody, like we said, we respect who you love. I think at that time, people were open with their sexuality. So I mean, don't nobody listen. And I'm not saying this facetiously, but nobody cares because we respect what y'all do. Like, so it's normal. You saying you homosexual is normal to me. I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay with your lifestyle. Like, it ain't. Now, this was 1950. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. No, we don't. We love y'all the same, bro. We love y'all the same.
As long as it's a consensual and it's an adult, love who you love. Do whatever you want to do. Now, once you go to taking stuff from people and their kids and stuff, now I have a problem with it. And but as long as it's consensual, do what you do over there. I don't care what you do.
And that's the thing. We love y'all the same. Nobody's going to be at all because that's your lifestyle choice because it's a lot of people that chose that lifestyle and we are okay with that. Everybody understand we are okay with who you love. It's not no battle no more, man. Y'all, it's okay. And we I know I speak for everybody on Against Grain Sports. We're going to love you the same, man.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to love you the same. This is without prejudice at all.
I think the Michael Sam thing was different because the NFL, was football players were tough. That's the first time they had an openly gay guy to come out and say, look, I'm gay. We all know there's probably gay players in the NFL way before that. It was just different because it was broadcasted. Then they show him getting drafted and he's kissing this man on TV. That's something completely different we used to seeing in the past.
They'll say it to him. They wouldn't say nothing to Aaron.
Then he got drafted by the Rams, what made it even funny.
This is my only problem. This is my only problem with that scenario. It had nothing to do with his sexuality. Why the fuck y'all got a camera in a 4th round draft pick's house?
Well, because he was gay. That's why.
I'm being funny, but I'm like, bruh, I seen mad 4th round picks. Y'all be at the be on the Taco Bell commercial when they get drafted.
Yeah, they be so. I remember a guy got drafted. I think the Raiders drafted a guy somewhere one day. He said, "Well, we don't really have no film. He's probably somewhere playing basketball. I don't even know he was getting picked right now."
Listen, I know, and we know that's gonna be on the show. Lil Rick was at the house chilling. They didn't put the camera in his house when he got drafted to the Seattle Seahawks in the 7th round. I kid you not. I seen it and I got a clip of it. They were talking. It was a commercial with Saquon Barkley. Remember he had that commercial? That was the commercial that was on when Lil Rick was getting drafted. So they didn't even show a highlight of it. Like,
only reason I seen it because like his siblings and dad I follow on social media were on social media and posted what happened. I didn't actually see it happen.
Yeah, when he got drafted, me and Rick was texting. I was like, man, and I'm screaming, but his face. If you go, I got the video I put on TikTok and Facebook. They had a Saquon Barkley commercial and across the bottom, Rick White Jr., wide receiver from UNLV going to Seattle. And it went to the next person. It wasn't no camera crew there, so that's why I say that.
Yeah.
But we get to that. So, man, give me your final thought as we get out of here.
Final thought, man. The playoffs are going to be here soon. The NBA, I'm looking forward to it. The Spurs are the 2nd seed in the Western Conference. Been playing outstanding. I played their talent. We didn't think they'd be this good, this fast. But I'm interested to see if the lack of experience is going to be an issue for them in the playoffs. They can play that regular season. They've dominated. I'm really looking forward to see how they develop in the playoffs, because the playoffs completely different from the regular season. The regular season, you really don't game plan for this team. You bounce around from city to city. But the playoffs, you lock in on one team. And we're going to see if they can deal with the pressure of the playoffs rather than the regular season. Looking forward to it.
So don't underestimate the veteran leadership of Harrison Barnes. I know it sounds funny.
It does. It does.
But he won a championship. And one thing about the Spurs, they have 8 players that average double figures, including Harrison Barnes. So
it's gonna be interesting.
I'll tell y'all one thing that we got to find some things to talk about, because you know how like in November-ish, it's like the best weeks in sports. This is like the worst week in sports in the hit. Like it's nothing. College basketball done. The NBA, most of the seeds are kind of wrapped up. So this whole week, it's just nothing. The drafts ain't all the way ramped up yet. Hey, you got some little baseball, but this is
Donald, what are we going to talk about? And we will talk about the spring games, because a lot of spring games kick off this coming up weekend. So, that's the official start of college football. And we will have some spring games.
WNBA start like next month or something. I don't know. But it's like downtime for sports right now.
Guys, my final thought is this, and I don't know why I've been harping on this the last couple days or the last couple shows that we've had, is once again we got a situation where guys that's in the media are arguing amongst each other. So now the most recent one is Matt Barnes is getting into it with Stephen A. Smith. Matt Barnes is getting into it with Pat Bev. And I'm like, why is it that y'all guys are at the top of the food chain and we're not even getting actual sports commentary? It's more of a personal battle. Stephen A. Smith is going on here explaining why Matt Barnes got him fucked up. I'm like, and then Matt Barnes is actually, if you listen to his rebuttal, he was very, very respectful of Stephen A. Smith. He was very respectful. He was actually very respectful of Pat Bev. But it's like, what I got a problem with is this goes back to the Jason Whitlock, Stephen A. Smith, and Cam Newton and all. It's like, are we getting the best journalism, or are we getting a whole bunch of personal opinions? And that's why Against the Grain Sports, I hope to everybody is refreshing, because I don't give a fuck what the next person is saying about me, because everybody got all those guys' phone numbers that don't have to be on air talking about this shit. Y'all, I don't believe a guy at the level of Stephen A. Smith, Matt Barnes with all the smoke, and Pat Bev being an NBA player, Cam Newton being an NFL MVP, and Jason Whitlock being one of the better writers. Even though you don't like him, go look. He's a very, very intelligent writer. We may not like what the fuck he say. You may not even like him. But why are y'all arguing with one another? Y'all picking fights with who y'all, and I feel like y'all picking fights with people that, and I feel like it's bully ball, because y'all not picking Cal and Cowherd, and Cowherd say shit about everybody, but I don't hear y'all picking fights with Mad Dog. It seems like y'all pick fights with low hanging fruit people And I that's what I don't like. And I don't like it because we're missing out on what we should be talking about. All we're hearing about is y'all personal experiences of how y'all came up in the game when all y'all motherfuckers are professional.
Yeah.
So I'm tired of hearing this shit. If y'all not gonna fucking fight in the ring, shut the fuck up, all y'all niggas. And that's on everything. If y'all ain't gonna fight it out or hug it out or talk it out, I don't want to hear this shit no more, man. Let's get back to the journalism, man. Because all the smoke is excellent. So we know how great Stephen A. Smith is. We know how great Jason Whitlock is. We know how great Cam Newton is. We know how great Ryan Clark is. And then the funny thing in closing, everybody I name is African American journalists.
Yeah. Jody, you don't hear Rich Eisen and Dan Patrick talking shit about each other. We need to stop doing this bullshit. I agree. You guys have all made it. Stephen A., you on the top of the mountain, whether people like you or not. Stop defending yourself, bro, because you're not going to win. Just let it go. People going to say what they're going to say. Stop responding to people that's going to say things about you. You are the man in sports, whether people like you or don't like you. Stop responding because I don't know if they're doing it for clicks. Because someone says something, I'm gonna respond because it's gonna give me more views. You don't have to do that like Jody said, but responding to me seemed like a waste of time from Stephen A. Smith. I'm not trying to make it. I'm already here. You trying to be where I'm at.
Exactly.
What I honestly believe about it, that's a good take, TJ. I like that. But what I honestly believe about it is that if you pay attention to certain deals people get, not to be in nobody's pockets or nothing, but when they get certain deals, certain people's content changes. And I think that they're directly getting, like, okay, the people behind the scenes talk about this. This is gonna get us more numbers. You talk to him about this, and they know the controversy sells. It's like the Drake and Kendrick thing. The labels will create a beef just to run the numbers up. And my thing is, a lot of guys got where they were by actual journalism and speaking, things that people want to hear. But I think once certain people start fattening the pocketbooks of them, they got to talk about what they want to talk about. And I don't even think a lot of these guys are under control and honest opinion on what they're saying on these platforms.
Yeah, that's very true, man. But great show. And Kathy, no, we ain't picking on Mad Dog. He a veteran of this game. He kind of loud sometimes, but I guess that's his style. But I respect it because wherever your style is your style. But we had a great show. And like I said, we'll be back Monday night at 7:30. I'm your host, Jody Coleman of Against the Grain Sports Podcast Uncut. We got my man, Jarrell Solo Sports Glenn, all the way from San Antonio, Texas. And we got my nephew, Donald, the voice of the youth, in the building, man. We got an absence of a whole our crew, but they should be back sometime coming up next week. But nevertheless, man, so what we doing until Monday night, man?
We working, baby.
See y'all later. Peace.